First of all, Sabrina, I want to let you know one.
I'm not trying to sound like that. I'm not trying to sound like that C-double-O.
No. Damn.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 17 of The JAAM. It's JJ, AB, Allen, and Matt, the way it always is.
The way it always is.
We made
Welcome back,
bro.
Episode
17 weeks we've been in here, bro.
We are closing in on 20 weeks going strong on this podcast.
And you know what's crazy? By the time it hits 20 weeks, we're done. After the shit we gonna talk about.
You know what's crazy too, though, right? It's crazy that we're 17 weeks in, and y'all haven't subscribed yet.
Like, hold on.
Like,
Allen.
Bro, we're 17.
Tell them what they gotta do, bro.
Share the video.
Where they gotta share that, bro?
Bro, we talking about iHeart. Hold on. We talking about Prime.
Okay.
Spotify. Acast. Okay. Help me, nigga.
Pocket cash.
Pocket Cash, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube,
where you are.
Facebook.
Oh yeah, Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah, we do. Do we have a Facebook?
Facebook.
Oh, Facebook. What was like Faber? I was like, what the hell is that?
But yeah, all that good stuff. I don't know what the stats are on what percentage of y'all are not subscribed, but it's a lot of y'all. So click the damn button. It doesn't do a lot.
It really
We
like
down there
video,
at like
comment,
8K.
all that.
Helps us out a lot. But yeah, like, comment, and all that good stuff. We are going to have, and we announced it last week, we have a very special episode for y'all this week. It's also going to be in a slightly different format because, you know, we got a big first guest that y'all get to see in a minute.
Y'all get to see who it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Y'all finally get to meet the person, but before we get to that, we decided that we still wanted to like get in, like, you know, you dig the normal stuff that we'll do.
Bad
So
work.
we got a still jam-packed show. We're going to be talking a little bit about the BET Awards that just happened, Doechii's courageous stance.
Yeah.
that he took.
That was crazy.
Oh my God.
Give y'all some updates where we've been, some stuff we've been doing behind the scenes, and then also main topic, bless you, is going to end up being LA, what is happening in LA right now, given the background, the context, everything, and talking about it. And then we're going to get into our interview of the day, where we get to introduce y'all to our special guest, and then we just going to kick it with him. So, yeah.
W.
That's what
Y'all
it's
gotta-
It ain't much more than that.
Y'all
Y'all gotta watch if y'all want to see this guest.
Y'all have to watch.
Y'all gotta lock
Don't
in.
skim
Y'all
through
gotta
this.
lock in.
Watch.
Don't skim through.
Don't skim.
Don't spoil it, and let us cook and then
bro,
get
let us-
there.
let us
So I
cook.
gotta ask y'all, how's y'all week been, man? What's going on, bro?
Bro,
What's
I
going
couldn't
on,
tell
man?
you one coherent thought I've had. Don't know
The
what it
days
is.
still melt together, but we've all done like we've all been running around constantly. This last week, us three went to, there was a Black and Brown Unity car parade. They've done it the last 6 years in a row with Increase the Peace Chicago. Shout out y'all.
Shout out y'all. for
ITP.
real.
Shout out ITP.
And they had their car parade. It was a Black and Brown Unity event. This is the second year that we went to it in a row.
This is the second year I didn't go.
Yeah.
you
I
got-
always
you
had some shit to do on the same day, bro.
Yeah, because it sneaks up on you. Because for context, this entire first week of June is also like everyone in our family's birthday.
Yeah, bro, my mom and
bro.
dad's birthday.
Our mom birthday,
Yeah.
Our
this
grandma's
week as well.
birthday.
That's like next week.
Yeah.
Everybody birthday in June. So
Full of Gemini.
Yeah, so
And
it
we
gets-
don't fuck with now one of you. Wow.
Wait a minute. So the weather starts getting hot. Everything starts speeding up, and then everyone's having their events. So the car parade happened. Then yesterday, me and Matt were coming
You're
home.
tweaking.
Yeah.
Well, no. Wait,
Just
wait.
completely
No,
skipped over
you-
Kendrick
you-
Lamar.
No, I wasn't gonna get to that yet.
Oh,
okay,
I wasn't gonna get to that
okay.
yet. Wait.
It was the same day, though. That's why we were saying.
Yeah.
That
Oh
was on the
yeah,
same
yeah.
day.
I was gonna bring up in another Gemini that we seen recently, which is Kendrick. But
yeah.
nigga, let me cook.
Fucked up the whole plan.
But yeah, yesterday we come home because it's the Black and Brown thing. There was an ICE protest happening downtown Chicago, and me and Matt are in the Uber, like on the way back. And we look to the right and we see, because there was a cop moving bookie, like driving up and down the road. And he spun around and is driving like in oncoming traffic. So we're like, what is this cop doing? We look to the right, everybody's in a protest like right around the building. Matt's like, we gotta go. Like,
I was like, get out.
I'm confused. You know what it is,
Drop us
bro?
off here, please.
Yeah, literally, we were in the middle of the street. I was like, yeah, you can let us out right here. Got out. I start running. JJ like, Matt, stop running. Stop running. Tackle.
You know what it is, bro?
Bro.
Matt said it before, but like our life is truly like an episode of Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
Why I say that? I say that because, bro, I'm like, all right, I'm finna stay in the crib. I'm finna edit. They were like, yeah, I'm finna go on a walk. I'm chilling, bro. I look on Instagram. I see JJ's live.
Yeah.
I see a crowd of people. I'm like, what is happening in Chicago?
It was wild.
They just said they were going on a walk.
Yeah.
Crazy ass
crazy.
protest.
It was
bro.
wild.
It
And
was
then
wild.
I received news that there's looking at ICE raids kicking up again in the city, because we'll get into all that and everything's happening in LA, but I don't know what's gonna happen in Chicago, but stuff might kick off here as well. Like you were saying, the same day we initially went to the Black and Brown Car Parade, which was June 6th, I'm pretty sure. I completely forgot before AB called my phone.
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar was in the fucking city.
Yeah.
And I already got a ticket and I forgot about that.
How he figured out was the
Insane.
funniest thing, because we all saw like, because we was out from like the start of the day, so we were seeing signs. We saw like this one girl had like the scissor flag. I'm like, why does she have
Yeah.
And then
Come on, wait a minute.
because by like, I'm not even gonna say that because I'm gonna leak our whole address. But, this place where they had like a parking sign. We're like, what concert is happening? And then he
Yeah.
hits him up talking about his Kendrick. We're like,
Crazy.
I was like, it
Completely
did not. I seen the scissor flag, didn't register in my mind. I seen probably someone wearing a Mr. Morale shirt, didn't register in my mind. And then I was like, oh shit, that's happening. So me and AB got to go see Kendrick and SZA live at the United Center. That
Man.
was it, bro.
Oh my
I was,
God.
bro. I couldn't
So-
get to go, bro. You know, I ain't made it there yet.
Yeah. First of all, like
Funds like that.
SZA, she did her shit. That horror hole set was crazy. He had fireworks going off and shit. Crazy.
Yeah, pyrotechnics, everything she was singing.
Nigga.
Yeah, the grasshoppers. I saw the grasshoppers.
Yeah, grasshoppers
praying
moving and
man.
shit.
I went to sleep and I woke up and I looked on his Instagram. I just saw a nigga just hit. I'm like,
They brought out these tall praying mantises and they just dancing on the side. I said, okay.
When Kendrick got on that stage, bro,
Man.
the nigga was like, first of all, like the chain that he had on, bro,
Yeah, it was,
fucking, bro, oh
It
my
looked like
God.
the video.
It didn't matter where he
Oh, it
was.
was just
Who was
banging.
the football player who had the chain?
Jalen Hurts.
It looked
Yes.
like Jalen Hurts.
Damn.
Like,
It
it
didn't matter where he was
like,
on the stage. Like when he was walking around, like the nigga was like right in front of us, so we could see him, like everything. He went all the way back. You could still see his chain like shining. Like it was crazy.
That
Bro.
was,
Wow.
I was saying, my overall takeaway from it, it was way more than I expected. It is my second concert I've ever been to. The first one was the Weeknd one the other never So I never seen Kendrick in person or anything, even though I've been following his music. He's been my favorite artist since I was like a young teenager. So getting to that moment, I got to see him live, and then me and the nigga rap like
Bar for bar.
I was
Yes.
Kendrick rap.
Yeah,
And I
Tell us
fucked
about
up the clip.
I believe
bro.
it was during All Right,
Damn.
which is crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
during All Right.
I think it was during the song All Right, and he comes over because like he's walking out of diagonal, and me and AB are basically in the front row. We're in like row 2 and 3, so he's like right on the stage in front of us, and he looks over, and I knew he saw me because I had a long ass cup in my hand with a pink ass straw in it. So the hand is up. And I'm like rapping with him, and he looks at me, and then we're rapping back and forth like on the chorus or whatever. And then I remember later in the he also kept moving. He waved to a kid that was right in front of AB. And then later in the concert, he was like, "Oh, I'm fucking with like this side," which was the side that me and AB was sitting on.
That's crazy.
And I was like,
I was like, we gotta get the Kendrick.
We gotta get
on
Ken.
the
Hey,
jam.
Ken, if you're watching, come to the jam.
We all hate Drake.
"Nah, we about to
also-
get into this beef fuel."
But before we get into that, no, you gotta talk about both of y'all got recognized that night.
Yes.
Yeah, also
Yes.
both of y'all got recognized. That.
What was Buddy's name?
So many things happened that I genuinely have a like hard time processing because I walked into the
he got recognized like 4 or 5.
I walked
times. It was
into
crazy.
the stadium. Before I walked into the stadium, I forget his name, but I remember it was his first Instagram post. I didn't expect him to post a picture. He took a selfie with me. He was like, "Oh my God, like I look up to you." Da, da, da. He took a picture with me outside of the concert, and then he ended up posting it later. I am so mad I can't remember his name, but I've been through a million things this week.
Yeah.
And then
we all that was a dope ass picture. So shout out.
yeah,
to you.
Yeah,
shout out to you.
bro.
And then literally like a few minutes later, AB comes in and we're in the actual like area in the United Center. And then a girl comes up to me and she's like, "Oh, I know you from TikTok." I think I got recognized like 2 or 3 times at the concert trying to see somebody that I look up to.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Like,
You
that
crazy.
fuck, bro.
It was a trip.
childhood
Surreal.
artist.
Yeah, it was a
surreal.
surreal experience.
That's wild.
But yeah, that was insane. And then speaking of Kendrick just won all the BET awards.
Yeah.
That's written.
As written.
He won album of the year, I believe, at the BET Awards for GNX, which again controversial, but you know.
I think the only thing I would say is I wish Hurry Up Tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
See how Abel looking at
But
you?
yeah, I will say Abel has a different, like, he doesn't have the clout I think he deserves in the black community just because, you know, Canada and the perception.
Yeah,
about
the
it.
perception. all types
You know,
of
he
shit.
makes legendary music.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then at those same BET Awards, Doechii came out and made a very
Oh my God, that bro.
very
that speech.
unexpected like speech, given, you know, how people tend to handle stuff in Hollywood, how we analyze this culture of PR. Let's not get involved for PR.
No, the thing is, I knew it was gonna happen. I just didn't know who was gonna say something about it.
I saw the clip, and because I had heard that she had said something, where? Bro, when I saw the clip, I was like shocked. Because I'm thinking she just got up there and was like, there's so much injustice going on in this country right now, you know, pray for LA, da-da-da. Okay, cool. No,
she
was
went
like,
detailed.
yeah,
Went
Trump is
detailed.
da-da-da. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, she was
Military.
like really spitting that shit.
And I was gonna say, she got hit with a lot of shut up and dribble.
Hell yeah.
Of course.
Hell
Of
yeah.
course.
Of course.
Man, fuck all that. Doechii different, man.
And big ups to Doechii for that.
Bro.
That took a
Come
lot
to
of
the jam.
Yeah.
The jam. That took a lot of courage, and even though it's like jarring experiencing someone who's like tuned in to what's happening in politics, seeing that there's still so many people who have that reaction, because this is not like a debatable, like, oh, she's just kind of twisting the narrative.
Like, no.
So many of y'all think that, but this is not like what that is.
Right.
And that kind of made me want to talk about LA and kind of like give all the facts and the details that are on the ground, because y'all are bullshitting.
Yeah, y'all are
How did this shit start? Because I heard that like they were told to like go to some court.
So yeah, so basically the whole thing started because I guess I don't know how many people it was. I don't know like the details of that, but I know they were basically told to, obviously the main thing that the other side says is, okay, if well, you guys are coming in illegally, you need to do it the right way. Okay, so people try to do it the right way, right? They're trying to go through the process to actually get the citizenship, right? They were told to be at a place, I'm guessing for a hearing or some sort of like something like that. They get there and they get fucking ambushed by ICE. ICE starts detaining niggas illegally there.
No.
And then brings them to a detention center and has people just sitting there and bullshit. Yeah.
There was one.
Hold on.
There was a
Why
lady
did-
with like her lawyer or some shit like that. She went to the bathroom and then the ICE just went in there and took her.
Wouldn't that count as like
fucking
entrapment or something?
Bro,
Okay,
like-
so let's get into how everything happened. So there's a groundwork that needs to be set, because if you don't understand the groundwork, then you're not going to be able to understand like what's going on. So for context, let's begin. On this podcast, we've talked about Mahmoud Khalil, who was arrested and is still in detention in rural Louisiana with not being charged.
They got
It's
that
been like
nigga
2
from
months or something.
Yeah, they got that
months,
nigga
yeah.
from overseas, brought him here. Was like, you know what? Let's just charge him with something.
His child.
Oh, no, that was Kilmar.
That was Kilmar.
that was
Okay,
Kilmar.
yeah.
Before we get so we have what happened with Mahmoud Khalil, who again has not been charged with anything. They found any reason to revoke his green card status, whatever, for political opinions.
Crazy.
Then we have Kilmar, who was not. I'm not even gonna get to Kilmar. I'm gonna finish off with Kilmar. Before him, we have Mohsen Madawi, which was he is a Palestinian college student. He just ended up walking the stage and graduating anyway, but he was explicitly at his hearing that would have made him a U.S. citizen.
And
he
they
spoke
took-
to the media because he felt like they were going to try to deport him when he went to that hearing. He went to the hearing, which would have got him his citizenship, and they detained him there.
Like what type of
What is-
shit
what is
that?
So
that?
he's been through the process. He's in America studying, and he was literally about to get his citizenship. He's the model for. He's better than all you niggas.
I need
like,
every-
let's put
A lot
niggas
of
on
y'all
the
at home.
Constitution test.
I need
Your dumb
every-
ass getting
yeah.
4 points.
I need everybody to deep this right quick. The niggas, they're going there to get the
get it.
citizenship. You're
Yes.
saying
Okay.
go and get the citizenship the right way. They're trying to do that, and you're detaining them
And
before
then-
they can do
And
it.
before you go, because I want to continue, and then Then they got American citizens.
Yeah.
We forgot they deported a
Not like we didn't
4-year-old
call.
child with cancer
Yep.
and was like impeding her ability to get the cancer treatments because they were getting it in America.
Nuts.
And mind you, she's born here, U.S. citizen. So we've seen these instances. And then finally we have Kilmar Abreu Garcia, who was deported, even though he was protected against deportation, specifically to El Salvador, because he had already been going through the legal process of trying to get his citizenship and trying to be able to stay here as a refugee. They deported him. They admitted that it was an error. The Supreme Court handed down a 9-0 decision, said you violated a nigga due process, bringing him back. So this is not like, hey guys, we're debating on whether or not ICE is doing unconstitutional. The Supreme Court ruled 9-0 that he needs to have due process and America needs to facilitate that due process. So America did bring him back, and now the Trump administration is charging him with a crime so that they can redeport him.
Nuts.
They have been skirting every rule and every law and every norm that the United States government has agreed to when it comes to facilitating immigration to this point.
And that's
that is
how
clear.
we fucking get here.
That's
now
how
you
we
got
get
dumb
here.
fucks in LA, or not in LA, but you got just like people seeing what's happening in LA.
Yes.
And they're sitting here saying, oh, you know, you guys are rioting. You're
Yes.
doing all of this. You guys don't even belong here. You're holding up Mexican flags and stuff like that. Exactly. You're not supposed to be here. Y'all have disregarded
Yes.
every single point of like,
Yeah.
hey guys, checks and balances, etc. And then are now saying that we're in the fault and you're gaslighting us into thinking we're the bad ones when no, people are fucking angry.
Yeah,
And
fuck
y'all
it.
have been bullshitting
Yes.
since the start of the fucking year. And
big
people are upset.
A big thing with that, because I went on Twitter with when the whole like LA shit was like first started happening, and the amount of misinformation out there is
Yes.
ridiculous.
Just bullshit.
And then on top of it,
Bullshitting.
through that they'll double down on the ignorance. So like the first case in point you made, all those people who were U.S. citizens or literally about to get it and deported with no just or anything,
With no
the whole
charges,
FORE
yeah.
shit with cancer is even insane. They're U.S. citizens.
Yeah.
So you're telling me through that. You see the shit happening in LA.
You think people are
decide
doing this
to
for no
double
reason?
down and be like, no, this needs to happen, bro. These
Yeah.
people are terrified because you're deporting U.S. fucking
And
citizens.
we'll
And
we'll get
And you're
exactly
not doing
there
it in a way
we'll,
that
we'll get
is-
exactly there. So
Even
we've had all these instances, right? And the line that is still being touted by the administration is we need to get the criminals, you need to get criminal illegal aliens, get them out of here, all the bullshit that they'll say, right? So my issue is, okay, you have the country of America. Again, because none of you niggas have said anything about it yet, immigrants and undocumented immigrants commit less crime than the native-born population. So if we want to get illegal criminal aliens out the country, right, that means that we have to be very targeted, right? You could be more broad going after American criminals because they're everywhere. There's less undocumented immigrants in the country than everybody else, and a lesser percentage of them are committing crimes because they don't want to fuck anything up. So you have to be very targeted about how you're going to do this, right? If you just want to get the criminals. But the problem, and again, speaking to the disinformation that none of you mentioned, is that like a week ago, Stephen Miller, whose wife has fucked off now to go be with Elon or some shit,
Get
crashed
piped
out.
down in the back of the seat.
That nigga Stephen Miller crashed out like the other day and apparently was demanding 3,000 detainments per day. Is a report that was
3,000?
yes, this is a report in NBC. It said in mid-May, the White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, frustrated over what he saw as numbers of arrests and deportations of unauthorized immigrants that were too low, berated and threatened to fire senior immigration and customs enforcement officials if they did not begin detaining 3,000 migrants a day. This plan that they had, that they launched, included using 3,000 ICE agents, including 1,800 from Homeland Security and investigations, 2,000 from the FBI and the Marshal Service and Justice Department, and even 250 IRS agents that were going to use like tax information to get whereabouts on migrants. Tax information that shouldn't exist if these people are lazy and not paying taxes.
I thought they didn't pay into Social Security, Medicare.
So we want to get the criminals, right? But then Stephen Miller wants 3,000 deportations. So then they shift their focus on where they're going to conduct the raids at. And we have LA, where they did raids at a Home Depot and a like clothing outlet store. And that's
Those are the
thing
criminals,
that,
though,
that's
right?
the thing
That's
that
the
set
criminals?
off the tensions.
Those
Because
criminals.
we already know when ICE is going somewhere that they have instances of violating people's rights.
We've
And
seen
now,
it.
yes,
it's on camera.
now
We've
it's
seen
seen
it
it.
all.
The Supreme Court
Fuck, we
also
talk
has
about
agreed
Supreme
with it.
Court
at
has
this point.
agreed
Yeah.
with it.
The Republican Supreme
Yeah.
Court.
And these niggas still doing
Yeah,
it
and
And you're
anyway.
on their ass talking
And-
about 3,000.
Yeah, and now we're saying we're going to get the criminals, and you're shifting to Home Depot workers, day laborers.
I seen a
people who are
video. I
making
seen a
a
video
living.
on Twitter. It was an ICE raid. It was a whole bunch of like construction workers just running away from.
Yeah,
the niggas.
they went to like,
Yeah.
a,
I'm
zone,
like,
a construction zone or something.
Where
like
are
that.
the
Yeah.
criminals? Are y'all looking for?
Didn't
Yes.
they say they
They're
got
not-
someone that was like, he had been working there for 30 years.
I was
think,
gonna,
and
yeah,
then, like,
he's actually in
yeah,
here.
Yeah, okay,
Jose Ortiz, and his son or daughter made a statement to the press about it. So what happened is, Friday, ICE comes in the city. They arrested over 40 immigrants and raids targeting day laborer areas in the Home Depot. It said Ambience, Apparel, Clothing, and Home Depot parking lots. They went in and they just started searching for fictitious employee documents. Jose Ortiz was somebody who'd been working at the apparel shop for 18 years.
18.
He was a manager there. 18 years he was working there.
What's
and,
criminal about that?
His child came through and was like, yeah, my father gave 18 years of his life to the company. He was a manager. He was a hard worker.
What did you just say?
Yeah.
What's criminal about
What's
that?
criminal about that? No.
At a
That's
certain
what
point,
it
you're
is.
living in a country for the length of like what it takes to become an adult. 18 years.
Yeah. Okay, so
How's he criminal?
To all the people out there that have their own things about illegal immigrants, they take our whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? Because it switched from they take our jobs and everything. Y'all
It
couldn't
switches
They
exactly.
take
You
your
couldn't-
jobs, but you still broke.
You can,
still fucking broke.
And they're not taking your office job,
They can
buddy.
deport. Look,
That's why it makes
these
no
niggas is-
difference.
it makes no like.
It makes
listen,
no. So that's
like,
what I'm saying. You couldn't
bro,
substantiate that.
frying me.
You couldn't substantiate the whole they take our jobs thing. So you switch and you say, okay, no, it's because they're criminals. So now, right? Okay,
though they're
criminals.
less likely to be criminals
Yeah,
than
I guess we're taking criminals, even though they're less likely to be criminals. Oh, I guess they're taking criminals. No. You're taking 18-year fucking managers that have been sitting there working.
Contributing to society.
Contributing to
And
society.
they can't even get all the benefits that you can get.
They
because
live
they're
right next to
yeah.
you. They're vibing.
Yes.
They're chilling.
Just think of this right quick. The same niggas that say, "Oh, we want all the illegals out. We want this and that," are some of them are the same people that got these SNAP benefits that they try to say, "Oh, they're only the black people are using them." Then they have no fucking job. So now when
Bullshitting.
let's just say they want to apply to a fucking Walmart down the street, if for some reason ICE goes in there, takes away all the illegals, what are you doing? You're still not fucking working. You're still
Bro,
broke.
these
big
niggas are
what
so
you-
You're still
sorry.
fucking
A
stupid.
big thing what
Like,
you said, why this is completely unjust, nigga, the fucking stats on it.
Yeah.
They commit no crime
Like,
because
look
they're
at the
illegal.
facts. I thought it
They're
was facts
undocumented, so
over
they wanna-
fucking feelings.
Yes.
Look
So-
at the fucking
And if
facts.
we want to talk more
fact that you
about,
even make
and we
that
want to
sick.
talk more about facts over feeling, let's get into why the fuck this deployment is like bullshit in general in California. So LA is a sanctuary city and California is a sanctuary state. And that basically means that there's precedent in this because there's a bunch of states that do it. They don't have to use their resources to communicate with federal immigration enforcement. They don't have to help the federal government do that. That's their right as a state. So California, having been, part of Mexico, probably has a lot of people
Did
who
we
are
just forget
Hispanic.
that?
I can't, bro. I just can't.
So California having a lot of people who are Hispanic, who we don't know everyone's fucking immigration status and everything. California is like, okay, we have all these people here. They're living here. They're contributing to society. If you want to do whatever you're gonna do, we're just not gonna help you enforce that, right? So what Trump did, despite the fact that they have the right to do that as a state, that Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, didn't call for it, that Karen Bass, the mayor of LA after the protest, didn't call for it, that the LAPD didn't call for it, he went around all the state government officials in California and co-opted the California National Guard, brought them under federal control, and then deployed them in LA. This is unprecedented.
What the fuck
The
are
last
we
time
allowing
a
this nigga
president,
to do,
the
man?
last time a president deployed the National Guard in a state against the wishes of the governor of that state, it was in the 1960s, I believe, with LBJ, and he deployed it to protect civil rights marchers who they didn't want to get scalped by the KKK while they were walking.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
when I saw that they brought them in there and then they were talking about bringing the Marines in there.
Yes.
did.
I
Also,
went on,
They also did.
went on Twitter because I'm like, I just want to see what's happening. Bro, the amount of people saying like, oh, I'm so glad this is happening. LA's looking like a third world country now.
Yes.
And it's people on top of trucks with their flags out. And they're like, this is ridiculous. And I'm like,
Yes.
like, this is like
Mind you.
the upside down.
This is mind-boggling.
Mind you,
Yeah, we
and
in the
even
upside
even
down.
like
Yeah, we are.
even like
We are.
mainstream press that I'm reading still maintaining that the majority of demonstrations were peaceful because they were the way they always are.
And they've been escalated.
hold on. Yeah.
Every fucking one has been escalated
But-
by the National Guard, by the fucking
By
police,
the
by the
feds,
fucking
by
feds.
ICE, who are
By
there,
ICE.
who know to violate people's constitutional rights, and are then like pressing people.
And then you look
you're
at
wondering why people are mad.
Literally. And you look at a platform like Twitter or like any of the news outlets and you only see the hateful shit, or even that it's not really hateful, but people reacting.
Yes.
Therefore, it enforces like, okay, we really
Reinforces,
need
Yeah.
yeah,
And
really,
when
like,
that's not the truth at all.
There's somebody that I want to shout out right quick. His name is Christian, but he goes by like Cricken on TikTok and
Oh
and,
yes,
yeah.
I know what you're talking about. He's been on the ground.
He's been on the
documenting.
ground
Yeah.
for real. And literally, there was a video of him on the ground with like he's like in the middle of the protest and shit. Everybody's peaceful, just walking around. You look at media, oh my God, it's a war zone out there.
I
No,
told
not at
JJ,
all.
I told JJ, and I was talking to a girl yesterday. I was saying, I was like, because we were talking about recording the protests and everything like that. She was like, yeah, the media, da 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 da. She was like, I just hope it doesn't get too bad. There's so much stuff going on. I was like, yeah, but also like that's why we need to record. We
Yeah.
need to be showing our perspective of it because we
They're
know
gonna
what the
try to
media is
make
going
up
to
a
do. They're going to do the same thing they did with Black Lives Matter and just demonize the entire thing. It's a bunch of riots. It's a bunch of looters. And them racist niggas, they're going to sit there and say, yep,
Yeah.
because they're fucking racist, right?
Yeah.
We need to be on the ground. We need to be recording. Literally, that was the reason I'm like, we're going to this protest. And JJ's people that he was on live with, they saw it.
Yeah.
They saw it from my point of view too. It was we were just chilling there.
chilling.
We were
There's
chilling
nothing
there.
happening.
The only thing that was happening was right in the middle when the police was pushing people. Then they start throwing water bottles at them, and then they was pushing people back.
Yeah.
And that's why I said
Nuts.
it's nothing, it's not even hateful or violent. It's nothing but reaction.
It's
Towards
reactionary.
something that-
Yeah.
Even if it's fucking cars is on fire, you're taking fucking people.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
detaining people illegally. What are we talking
And
about? With no
again,
due process.
I was also gonna say,
Fucking idiot.
The raids that the officers have been, the ICE raids have been putting on since before they even got to LA. There was instances where they were showing up at courthouses,
Yes.
and detaining people after their cases were dismissed. So a migrant will get into a court, either be coming for a legal proceeding, a check-in, or maybe they were charged for something and their case got dismissed and they're walking out of the courthouse and ICE will tackle you and detain you. There's footage of this. So my question
They got
to
kids
those
representing them fucking selves.
Yes, my question to those people who are boot fucking licking right now are, what do you genuinely actually think is going on in the ground? There's a demographic of people who are less violent and less criminal than your demographic of people. There's a demographic of people who have been working, contributing to a society that they can't really take much from. And there's a demographic of people where even if they did do something violent and commit a crime, there's a specific laid out process in the Constitution of the United States for how you go about handling it. And you are ignoring everything. And the problem is the riots. What the fuck do you want people to do with
Look
this?
at this shit.
what do you
Bro,
want
we
to
didn't
Look
even
at this
talk
shit.
about that. Let's look at the
you can look at, we're gonna go into some footage. There was an Australian journalist who's filming on the ground in LA, and you see like a police officer just up the gun and
pivot.
shoot her with a rubber bullet.
You can't even make the excuse of a misfire. No, this nigga went up, then turned to her.
Here, let's
see.
take a look at the footage. And rubber bullets are less lethal, not non-lethal.
And even if it hits you, you gonna bleed.
From point blank range. Look at top left corner.
LAPD moving in on horseback, firing rubber bullets at protesters, moving them on through the heart
Buddy,
of
right
LA.
there in the back.
That's clearly, you can
Like,
see that that's
what
press.
You could see him. He literally
What?
looked off and did it.
For what?
Yeah. So you're having people who are scared, who are in the street because they're having people who are close to them who were okay one day ago get snatched up and still no criminal charges. These people are being held and detained without any due process. And we're having instances of the police shooting journalists, shooting protesters with like less lethal like ammunition, and all this is fine.
Even like you think about why the reactions could be that way, in the sense of like, we know that they're taking people and we know that's terrible, but in the sense of like the people they're sending out, if you're telling them we need 3,000, we need this, that, think about how much pressure mentally is on these motherfuckers. That's why you up and
Or you're gonna lose your job.
literally, or you're gonna lose your job, you can't pay, so
Which
you gotta
means
take these people
there
out
is
by
no,
any
you're, now you're saying, well, we have capacity. No, there is no due process. You've eliminated due process because you're telling your federal agents to just go and just start picking people up. And then you'll deal with it later.
I want to speak on something.
Yeah,
I want to
you
speak.
can't
I'm
do that
sorry.
shit.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I want to speak on something really quickly that we haven't got to yet. I don't know if we will. We probably would have.
Yeah.
But I want to speak on this really quickly. Black people.
Yeah, that's what I
Let-
was gonna wrap
yeah,
up with.
yeah.
That's what I
I
was
know
gonna
exactly
wrap
where
up
you're
with.
going.
That's
Yeah.
what I was gonna wrap up with.
Okay, so my black people, you know I love y'all, you know what I mean? Juneteenth coming up and shit, you feel me? We gonna be outside, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If y'all watch that video as a black person and your response to a video seeing the Australian reporter just getting shot, and there's so many other videos, but that's like one that's in front of you, like right there, point blank, right? If you watch a video like that and your immediate thing is, well, shit,
Not my
they
problem.
voted for him, not our problem.
You
We
gotta-
need to stay out of these people business for real. I'm not even gonna fry y'all today. I'm not feeling up to it. But I genuinely want to ask the question, as a black person, right? What does that help? What do we achieve by standing here and being like, well, they don't fuck with us, so we not gonna fuck with them or some shit?
And you got to realize that this is in California, a blue state.
A blue state that 55% of
No, it was
fucking
60.
It was 55 to 66 is what I've seen in the
55 to 66% of Hispanic voters voted for Kamala. So what the fuck are we talking about? Are we just spewing dumbass bullshit that we're seeing on Twitter from niggas that don't like you, nigga, and don't like you, a Hispanic person? They don't like you anyways.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are we allowing these people to create narratives in our community that don't look around your as a black person, look around your community. If you from Chicago, if you from LA, if you from New York,
You're
there is a very
intertwined.
good
You're
chance
intertwined
that
with-
in
yeah.
your community you're intertwined with Hispanic people.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you to be like, no, we shouldn't help
And
these
if you're
dumb-
not intertwined with Hispanic people, you probably intertwined with Dominican people.
Yeah.
Or Haitian people.
Or Haitian
And do you
people.
think that they gonna do a security scan on your black ass
what
before
I'm
they
saying,
throw
bro.
you somewhere?
What the-
No.
A big
No.
thing I want to talk about it, whether it's intentional or subconscious. I feel like when it comes to being a minority, I feel like a lot of times when it's shit happening to a large group, I feel like almost like a racial like hierarchy is like almost like
Yeah.
there, and I feel like what that
about
does is in a sense like it's a divide and conquer type thing. So through that, you see like, oh well, Latinos been racist to us in the past, so
And
like,
that's what
therefore,
they all gonna say.
they all
Oh,
gonna do
well,
that.
well, Latinos been rid of.
They always say
Okay,
that.
am I denying that? Hell no. Like I've experienced it firsthand. We probably all have, in a sense. Does that now mean though, because I've experienced one or a few situations?
Who do you sound like?
Who you sound like
right now?
And
Because
that's
I
the
feel like
point.
the few you've been in a few situations with XYZ people. Oh no, we just fuck them all. They all just
Yeah.
Sound just like
And
the
sounds
white
just
man.
like them white
and
people.
through that, it's the divide of like, okay, well, I'm not going to pay attention. Then you almost like forget that you're a minority too, and then you realize like, bro, the reason why this shit can pass is because we divide, and that's why there's a fucking fad
It's that-
up there
what-
enforcing shit.
What's
like
the term with like the overseers, like in the back in the day where it's like that? It's that power dynamic, like you said, the racial hierarchy, where it's like whichever direction something happens, something goes, right? You're always gonna have that group of people that try to get put in that position of like, oh well, I'm the overseer. I'm a little bit better than you. We're a little bit better than you. Black people are sitting here now like this is not really our issue.
Yeah,
What
we're a
the
little bit
fuck?
better. We
70
no,
fucking years ago, it was the same shit with us.
Yeah.
And we wanted people to come with us and stand by us. What, regardless of if they did or not. Why the fuck would you want to be on the wrong side of history?
Yes. Fundamentally, at the end of the day, regardless of what experiences that black people have had intertwined with Hispanic people, regardless of any of that shit, there is a current threat to everybody right now, and it's in the White House, and it's being deployed in the streets and all types of shit. Regardless of what the fuck you think, at the end of the day, these people do not give a fuck about whether or not you're black or Hispanic. You're not in what they've deemed to be their ideal version of what an American is. Because if someone who's living here for 18 years, working, doing more shit, and being more productive than all of you is still not an American, then your black ass is not an American in 99% of these people's eyes.
Think about all the shit.
And you're sitting here trying to pick beef with the people who are going through this shit right now as though we will not be next on that chopping block.
Mind you,
I'm not going to sit there and wait until it gets to us.
Yeah.
I'd rather stop it now because they've shown that they will take
together
it to us.
now.
Yeah.
When we have the numbers on them.
You know what I don't understand with some of these people that have been spewing that shit. It's like, okay, you sit back, you don't do anything, and then they all get rounded up and taken out. And then they come for us, and then you reach your hand. Oh shit! Where everybody go? They're gone.
They're gone. What the fuck?
They're gone. And let's keep it. Let's not get it twisted. A lot of the majority of Hispanics did vote for Kamala, but also a lot of Hispanics that are getting rounded up can't vote. They can't vote. They can't vote. So, and a lot of y'all understood that argument when it came to Palestine.
Yeah.
Y'all were saying that it's dumb as fuck to say that these people voted for it, so therefore they deserve everything that happens either. But what if you have a diverse group of people and some of them didn't vote for it? Yeah, I'm not going to condemn an entire group of people to tyranny and to being subject to fascism and racism and racial discrimination because some of those members of the group are not educated on racial issues as I am. That's the case with every demographic in the planet.
On the planet, I'm gonna be real, Black.
What are we talking about?
There's nothing to be comfortable about. I don't know why Black people are acting like this is something.
You should be on Reddit here.
Sipping tea.
I'm just gonna get my feet up.
Why are you sipping tea at a time like this?
Toes
Signs
and shit.
that were
Like
next,
no.
bro, literally.
And
The signs that were next, literally in the start when this nigga got in this shit, all the shit happening with DEI.
yeah,
Bro,
he came after us already. He just hasn't deployed the march and been like
the JAAM's next.
The JAAMs. They're getting us out of here. So like, it's one of those things where I think now is a very important time for solidarity because it's one thing to keep it in the theoretical discussions and be like, all right, how is the best way for us to have adequate Black-brown relations? Talk about that. But you can't talk about that when your living room's on fire. Got to put the fire out.
Yeah.
And I don't see any other way we can progress and get through this in a way as opposed to standing up and seeing this and being like, it's wrong.
Yep. Some of these niggas looking at the living room burning on fire and they walk into the next room.
Yeah, and I get it, right? If you don't want to go out and see a protest and you genuinely are like kaput and you've been doing a lot and you feel, all right, cool, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I just know what I'm going to do and I know what
Get your sorry ass. Fuck out of here.
I know what I'm going to do.
Say something on the message. Pick up your phone and say,
I'm saying there's multiple ways to advocate. You don't got to go to a protest, but say something.
Do something.
Do something.
Get off that fucking couch.
Yeah, do something, and I think that like having as many voices as possible, having as many perspectives as possible is the most important thing right now because they keep trying to restrict the shit. It's always been a war in this country about restricting and expanding who is considered part of the American experiment, and we are in a contraction moment. They are saying get the fuck out of here, regardless of anything, regardless of even if you committed a crime.
Yeah.
They've already been sending people to foreign countries without any evidence they've committed any crime. So yes, this is not stopping here.
Countries they've never been in.
Yes, this is not stopping.
It's not
and I
stopping.
think
It's
the
not
better
stopping
we
in LA.
acknowledge that, the sooner we acknowledge that, the better we'll be able to fight against this shit. But hopefully LA can stay strong. There's a lot of shit going on. I know Gavin Newsom said that he was trying to sue the administration for illegally deploying the guard there. And let us not forget that these same people that y'all are like, oh my God, they're doing the immigration stuff, are also about to cut all of y'all healthcare.
Yeah.
And all y'all food stamps and all y'all are going
And
to
FEMA.
be and FEMA. States are going to be funding
He just said,
feeding for themselves.
FEMA, he wants to cut it, like he wants states to fund it themselves, like in all of them.
Yes.
It's literally just breaking news.
So that when hurricane season rolls around, like y'all don't
Mind you, that's
understand.
going to impact
Yes.
more of the
Think
red
about
states
that.
than it is going to impact the blue states.
The damage that they're
dumb.
doing, the damage that Elon and them have done, the damage that this entire side of the American political system, the Republican Party, this is not just the MAGA heads, the trumpets, this is the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Can't respect them niggas
The
anymore.
extent to where they have gone has done irreparable damage at this point.
This is putting us back 30, 40, 50
Bro, it's
years,
like-
60
I'm
years
starting-
already.
Yes.
I'm going by this saying, bro. It's mealworms gnawing at these niggas' brains. It's something in
RFK's case, yes. And I also seen that people are calling for him to resign because he's actually doing damage to, like, there's an advisory board for vaccinations and he's getting rid of all the people there, which he wasn't supposed to do, and he's going to put anti-vaxxers in there.
Yeah.
There are mealworms gnawing at these people's brains. They are not competent. They are not strategic. They're creating a fuckery on the ground in LA because the LAPD doesn't even want to work with them because they haven't been updated on anything that's going on. And y'all are sitting here bootlicking like everything's okay.
Can we peep what Matt just said? You're cutting FEMA and you want states to fund it. all the
Nigga,
red
all
thing,
of the
you're
red states.
done.
You're cooked. You're fucked.
You're done.
You're fucked. That hurricane's hitting. You're
Nigga,
gone.
you are somersaulting in that tornado. You're done. Nigga. Your limbs are done.
But yeah, it is a turbulent time out there. So I urge everyone, please stay safe. Take care of yourself and acknowledge that what the fuck we're going through is a moment of history. It is. Don't let anyone gaslight you about that. But I've been seeing recently, I don't know if y'all have been seeing, like black men have been stepping up their game a little bit. So we decided to go and get some backup. So what we decided to do was have our first time guest. Who is he? He's currently the fastest growing golf creator right now with almost 100,000 followers on Instagram alone. He's an aspiring pro golfer with limitless talent, a soon-to-be movie actor, a former brokerage owner, a business owner of his own D1 brand, and he drives a 1989 Cadillac DeVille. Awesome aura shit.
We have here?
Introducing our first JAAM podcast guest ever, Brice Peake, D1 Golf. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's go.
How you doing, man?
That was amazing. That was good, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Man, I'm happy that you're here. We're all happy that you're here. Man, tell us a little bit about where you coming from. I know big Ohio and shit.
sure.
Tell us about that Cadillac. What the fuck?
Okay, for sure.
I gotta know about that Cadillac,
Little
bro.
background, just from Cleveland, Ohio, born and raised. It's crazy that I'm even here now because like we have kind of discussed about I was watching you guys like grow, and it started
That's
with JJ
insane,
because
bro.
I absolutely hated consuming like TikTok content, and he's the whole reason that I even started like, okay, maybe TikTok's not so bad.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, and then I just got an old soul. Like I listen to 60s and 70s music like Marvin Gaye and Gladys Knight, and it just flows into the clothing, it flows into the cars. This is like my fourth old school. So yeah, bro. Yeah. That's really my speed, bro. Old schools, like I would just buy those. I don't really mess with
And how old are you for the people at home?
I'll be 23, June 23rd. But I'm 22 right now.
We just out here.
We just like
We just out here.
21.
After your
We're all
fifth
the
car?
same age. Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's your fifth car.
Well, so that's my third old school, and then I like for a moment I had a Mercedes, I had a Tesla for like a very short stint.
Boo.
You know why? We'll get into that for sure. But yeah, 22.
That's
crazy. I don't even got my fucking license.
I was gonna say we have to pause it because the old soul, the style, the swag, and flow, and everything. I know all y'all thought we forgot it, but I was waiting for it. Let's get into this fit check. What you got on?
What you got on for the
We
people,
got
bruh?
so you see some dirt on them because a motherfucker be putting in work.
No, you working?
So these are Plutos. Shout out Pluto, my whole Pluto team. They got me decked out with some shoes. Send some more. And send some more. And then the whole thing on the Instagram page recently has been just bringing back old money aesthetic. Like I get on like baby boomers' nerves with the wife beater and the jerseys, and then they say this dumbass shit like, welcome to the game. Fuck out of here. I've been true to this shit since I've been 4 years old. I've been around the game. You feel me? So when you're in the comments and you're saying like, welcome to the game, it's just odd because I've been around it so long. I know right from wrong. I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Right.
You feel me?
That's
So
real, bro.
yeah,
That's
so we
real.
got little J. Crew pants. You feel me? Like we gonna shout out Eastside, my Eastside family.
out
shout out
I
Eastside.
cannot
They're
wait to
the
talk about
number
Eastside.
one black-owned clothing brand in the golf world right now, and they've only been up for 6 years.
That's dope.
I was just
right?
reading about it. I can't wait to ask you
Yeah.
questions because that Eastside shit is
So
crazy.
they reached out kind of in the midst of me coming up, and they have been absolutely like really good family to me. And
That's
anything that I've needed, they've reached out and helped out with that. So yeah, man,
see the
little
logo.
belt, we got the whole little master setup.
You look like you been on the PGA.
Cashmere sweater. You feel me? So yeah,
the
bro.
belt hitting on?
Oh, so this is a belt from Doechii Golf. That's what they're called, and it's adjustable. And this actually, so this is how you mark your ball.
They come with a microchip.
So this is a ball marker. So when you move your ball off the green, you just take it and
Yo, that's
That's actually
actually
Shout out Dirty Golf, man. These are
Shout
great. I
out.
got like 6 of these. They're so
Word.
And the glasses finally.
Come on now, this is some game, bro. This is when thrifting comes into play. I was at the thrift store. I was looking for some khakis, like some old school, like money khakis, and these were sitting on the shelf. I said, come here.
And that's as simple as it.
And that's you just put it all together, bro. Like all that designer shit, you know, it's who the man that's wearing it.
Exactly.
You feel me?
Exactly.
That,
That's
shit
shit.
rock it
That's
or not.
style, bro.
You know, whether it be Gucci or not, you know, and I'm seeing the shit y'all got on. I was
I'm about to say, yeah.
I
might not be reaching Gucci.
Well, I would think this probably one of the only times I feel like we don't got no designer on it. Like, not really, at least.
Not really.
Well,
I can,
okay.
you want to go
Then
with
it got
Veil.
All right, Jam.
let's go in jam
format. Jam format.
What you got on?
You know, the foam posits. Y'all seen them before.
Black
Just some like
foams.
Playboy joggers. You know what I'm saying?
joggers.
Just like
Hold on.
the veil on the jacket.
Veil on the
Oh shit, I do have to. It's a vape tee on.
Now he gotta have money.
How progressive.
Okay. These niggas getting money.
Hold on, you forgot to show the chain.
Oh yeah, chain. Know what I'm saying?
You
It's
feel
slightly different stack this time.
Yeah, I see the stat. I'm liking it. I like it. Different.
Go ahead.
We got the dress shoes I've been wearing since the first pod. Hood.
How you been wearing everything since the first time?
Got the chain.
Got the brown leather joints. Got the dress shirt
leather?
tie. Yeah, it's like a
leather.
wax.
That's fly.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
Appreciate it. Tie. Got the chains. Y'all know the deal. Roy.
He always has to-
Yeah, your good boy got the BBC shirt. Go ahead and sponsor me.
Y'all need to sponsor. Y'all bullshit.
Please.
Pharrell, get your
Got
ass
the-
up.
Got the BBC shorts on, you feel
Yes,
me?
sir.
Got the polo socks and the
I didn't even keep
How does this nigga's feet go like that?
I've been trying to figure this shit out because he be like, I can't even do it.
we got the what the J Balvin
J
3s
Balvin,
on.
yeah, the J
Got
Balvin.
the little citizen watch, you feel me? Chain on, you know.
Chain on you, man.
Chill-
I got
chill-
the-
Last but not
sounds
least.
You know what I mean? I got the Fazos on. I done blicked the Fazos, but I feel like it's just you got to. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
got to blick the Fazos. You know what I mean?
Classic.
Got the hoochie daddies on. You know what I'm saying?
It's hot outside.
I tried to be on some like golf shit.
I like
so I'm
it.
like,
It's swaggy.
if I was golfing, this probably some shit I wear. FORE. I got the hoochie daddies. I got the guest tee on with the beater under, chain stack. You feel me? And I got the what you on hat. You feel me? What you
know,
on
I'm
hat,
not
you
even gonna
feel
lie.
me?
Like before we even get into, it's like trippy because I hear him talking, but I can't see this nigga face. Like
I know.
I'm-
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
I just see
Yes, sir.
dreads moving as he talking. I'm like, fuck.
Well, you know, we gotta the way we do it on this podcast, but we also enough about us. Let's get into the man, the myth, the
man, the
legend.
myth.
So we decided that we were going to employ different roles to different people throughout. So we've discovered our own governmental agency. It's called the FBA, Federal Bureau of Aid.
Yes.
And he did some research
The
into
Federal
your
Bureau of Aid.
past.
So before we get started, I just need to ask you, what are the 9 core values?
Oh, he going first tee with it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm
Put me on the
fact-checking.
spot. 9 core values.
You get 5 of them, you pass.
I get 5. Okay.
yeah.
Honesty, integrity, loyalty, respect.
Ooh, I don't see loyalty.
Ooh.
Wait. I don't
it-
see loyalty on
it's
everybody.
You
not
said,
loyalty?
you said honesty, integrity,
Respect.
Respect.
Okay, I got 3. Keep going.
Responsibility.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not accountability. How many I got right now?
4.
I need one more.
four.
You need one more. You pass.
One more, bro.
It start with an S.
There's a lot of words that start with an S.
Yeah. It's a lot
There's a
of
lot of options.
Start with S.
Start with an S.
Yeah.
That's just one of them.
Not safety, not stability. I'm thinking of safe words right now.
You would say someone has good this
In
if they
basketball.
congratulate you after you like beat them or
Yeah,
something. They have
well,
good.
You just
They
use
sportsmanship.
There we go.
There we go.
A plus.
There we go. There
So
we go.
now we want to show the clip.
Wait.
Can we see the clip? Can we
Yeah,
see
can
the
we
clip?
get that? Can we get the Brian? Can we get the?
Oh shit! I'm about to see some shit I haven't seen in forever.
Yep.
Oh fuck!
We got young Brian.
Federal Bureau of Aid.
Hold on.
No,
He looking like me in this video. Hold on, go
This
back.
was in 2016. This is why I said you remind me so much of him because y'all were literally on the same
That's
shit.
crazy.
Let me
bro.
see. I haven't actually watched it all the way through. Go back. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is part of his poem that he wrote.
There's 9 core values: honesty, integrity, sportsmanship, respect, confidence, responsibility, perseverance, courtesy, and judgment. These aspects make for a team. To push their students to go beyond their peaks, they create an image of success in my mind. There's not a reason why it should.
It's as written. I think you were always going to. You were always going to hidden pass after that.
Man, I haven't seen that video in like 4 years.
Explain. What was like?
Yeah,
what
was
that
it?
for?
Explain it.
Fuck. Okay. No, for real. So what you call it? FBA?
FBA.
Yeah. God damn it. So, fuck. All right. So, I came up through First Tee of Cleveland, which instills or embodies life core values through the game of golf. And I got into that around 3rd grade. But now that's 9 years old. So now I've been playing for like 5 years.
Damn, you only been playing for 5 years?
I've been, because I started at 4 with plastic clubs.
Oh,
some Tiger shit, just wasn't Tiger.
Before
so 2016, I was actually in the 8th grade there. A lot of people thought I was like a 5th grader. I was going into my freshman year of high school.
That's how I look.
Yeah, that was crazy. And they asked me to do a poem for them in front of all the donors. So like, and we'll get into kind of that, but at that point I was kind of like the black token, boy. And we'll get into like what that. We can get into that. So at that point, that's who I was for the brand, and they asked me to write a poem because I was doing a poetry slam as a kid, and they found out that I was doing that in school. And that was at the Brown Stadium. They asked me to do that in front of all of them.
Yeah, that's dope.
So I had already performed it, and they weren't recording for whatever reason, and they asked me to come out and like redo it so they could throw it on the website. So.
Oh wow!
I appreciate that.
I was gonna say 100% because when he told me about like how it reminds him of me, I was like it was a thing when we were growing up. How I would, like be wearing suits and like try to do the.
That's how I was going to school, bro. Like we had dress clothes, bro. And they were like, "Bro, what the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "Man, get off my dick, bro."
Me and JJ was going to school like Friday. I forgot what we would call it, but like Fridays I wear like the blazer.
He had like a navy blue. It was like president and vice president.
I remember coming up because like when we was kids, like I didn't really know JJ like that. Like I knew he was like the nigga that fries everyone. So I went there and I went there and I'm like, because like we would sit outside before we would go into school. So you kind of see everyone's fits before you even get in there. I see him with the suit. I'm like, he got money.
Crazy.
I was in a tight. That was my only. That was my sister's blazer.
Nah, but that was crazy. I was gonna say, do you have any other?
Yes, we're not done yet with the federal.
This is
some other crazy shit.
Yeah, Federal Bureau of AB.
We gonna all open up after this, so this is kind of like rite of passage.
Does WKYC ring a bell?
There's no way. There's no way that y'all have that.
What does that mean? I don't even know.
WKYC is a is channel 3 at in Cleveland. And when I was growing up as a kid, I was always on the news for some shit. And it kind of like panned out. Like during high school, it kind of lessened, but I was always in the news for some shit. So WKYC, I've been on there a couple of times, so I'm very curious to see what video is about to pop up on there.
Wait, we have a video?
Yes, we got a video.
FBA.
Oh shit.
Fuck.
Hold on.
Well, our next guests are part of a teen council inspired by a young man who faced a great deal of bullying and has done so much more to promote tolerance. WKYC is a proud partner with this amazing group to kick off the Be the Change Challenge. And today we have two members of the teen council with us here. Ashley, a sophomore at Aurora High School, and Brice, an 8th grader at Horizon Science Academy here in Cleveland. And I spoke with them during the break. They are amazing young people.
So it seems like
I had that ice on my wrist there too. I was rocking that like every day.
It seems like we have we was bullshit. I was gonna say it seems like we have someone who was ahead of their time because I was not in a professional like news setup and you was just cool in there.
That's love.
Yeah.
That's cool as hell. You was
No, actually you kind of do have like when we went to California.
Yeah, well that was
did it.
Lil Tykes. But like they telling you like be the change was like that advocacy work and that stuff. Was that something that's always been kind of like around you?
Yeah, so very similar to how again, you just picked up the camera, and it's so great. I just think you guys are like literally one of the greats, a part of history, just from a political landscape and like the social media realm.
Appreciate that, bro.
Y'all are one of a kind, never seen before. And during that time, I was actually on the children or teenage or adolescent board for a non-charity or a nonprofit called Different Like You. And it was by a kid that started. His name was Justin Bachman, who had Tourette's, who went to a high school around there. And he was just collecting kids that were different. My thing was I was bullied at a young age for like my height. And I thankfully didn't really come up with like really severe like little man syndrome.
Man,
We got
that
to
was-
say
we
know
more,
you
you
feel
feel
me,
me?
Man, because I had it for a little bit, for sure.
Yeah, it's good you don't have that because it's full grown adults that got it.
That still
I know
got
it's
it.
some of y'all niggas.
Hey, fuming. Right?
Yeah, so I was on the board for that for like 2 to 3 years. I was the youngest one on the board, and they, you know, they
That's
were
dope as shit,
we're just
bro.
talking about being different and how to be different.
That's
dope.
dope.
Yeah.
I
Especially,
was
bro,
gonna say. So, wait, what were you gonna?
I was gonna say, especially at that age, to be doing work like that, getting on the news, and be able to speak so fluently and confidently
Thank you.
of what you believe in, bro. That's dope.
That's love.
I wish I could find. It was one time. Don't you remember when Mom was like in art school and shit?
Yeah.
And there was a point. She went to art school and then she went to like movie school or something, and she had to record a they had
The pizza
It was
thing?
the pizza shit, and then it was something else. She had to record it was a commercial about something, and she wanted me to do it. Nigga.
I remember.
When I tell you, I'm sitting there like this, staring in the camera like, no.
1,000-yard stand.
We had to like try to pick up the acting too, because it was like her like project and everything. I remember we had like she had like sketched out like pizza boxes. She had like drawn on paper like the decal, so we had to like act with it. I could
Shit
not.
crazy.
No, I'm like, what the hell are
That
we
whole
doing?
garage was filled with cardboard pizza boxes, bro.
That footage is somewhere in the desert right now.
Yeah,
But I
we
was
gotta
gonna
find that
say.
shit.
I thought that shit was in a desert. This shit
I was gonna say,
Uncovered
so
that shit,
so we have the setting set of like you starting off doing a lot of like atypical shit for your age. So when did you realize that golf is like the thing? Like I want you to talk a little bit about your experience getting into golf and when you decided to take it seriously.
Okay, so shout out my mom. So as you guys might not know, I am adopted. I was adopted at a day old. So when I came out,
I didn't know that.
came out, they called her. Yeah, we got this little chocolate nigga for you. If you want to come grab him, he's at here at the hospital.
Grab me.
You know, and,
Might be a millionaire.
Get this might be a good investment. So yeah, she adopted me, and she's giving me the world. Mind you, this was a lady that had like a beautiful condo in Columbus. She had my oldest brother, who is actually biologically related to her, Xavier. That was her only child. She was making real good money, super smart, like was highest in her class in math, and still confused to this day why she decided to adopt, because you're looking at it from a standpoint of not having to add stress. She was in a like perfect prime position as like a young black woman in America, and she still decided to adopt me, and put a lot of a lot of her dreams got put on hold to raise us, and all you know, all the gratitude to her. You know, I'm super in debt to her. So she got me into golf. She was smart enough to put me in at FORE.
That's wild, bro.
She put me in. Mind you, she never golfed. Nobody in our family had golf.
So she just said
She
golf.
just said, yeah, golf. Yeah, like
That's
you about to do that.
crazy.
And I wanted to be like my big brother so bad, Xavier, who ended up like dropping the game later, but I wanted to be like him. So I was out there. I was actually too young to be a part of the class, but at 4 years old, I was like, I was talking, and I still was kind of articulate, even for like a 4-year-old. Like just, you know, and I went out there and was playing. They let me join like 2 years early because you had to be 6. And I was out there with them big boys, and I was trying to, you know, keep up. You know?
Hard.
And
That's
what
hard
started
as
it.
hell.
That's
I did
sound
not know
up?
that. What, say it again?
No,
I'm
I asked him.
sorry.
I said, was it a struggle keeping up?
For sure. Like at first, because I didn't have the driving power, I just couldn't hit it as far.
Yeah, you're 4-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. So I really focused on, at a young age, putting and chipping, which is like the most important thing in golf. You got to put that motherfucker in the hole.
To have that mindset
Yeah.
at 4 is crazy.
Yeah, which I was gonna say is similar thing because I feel like even me and AB when we were growing up playing baseball, we were always like the undersized niggas on the team.
Man, nigga,
which
they
I
always-
didn't. I was gonna say, as a point of credit to you, I didn't have the game IQ to adjust to what I probably should be doing. Because on Jesus, if you told me to go up there and bunt as the small nigga who's fast, I'm not doing it. I'm swinging.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. So I
Not
hate it. And the strategy probably should have been like, focusing on those things, at least build those things. But having that mindset, like you said, at 4 is like,
And I think what's so dope about that, because you described like the disadvantages you have, but I also think it kind of enforced like an advantage because you have to kind of adapt to different things.
Yeah.
Do you think
You gotta
that
have a
has done
cognitive
that,
mind for it.
like to this day, like when you were 4 going against 6-year-old, do you think that like changed how you viewed the game because you were at such a disadvantage?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just puts a chip on your shoulder. And I've always been competitive, and I've always been counted out.
Yeah, underdog.
Yeah,
underdog
it's
shit, bro.
underdog mentality. Even like now, as a grown adult, with like some of the things that I've done now, somebody might look at that and they still got something to nitpick or a reason to doubt.
They always will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Always
so
will.
you can catch this fade regardless. Regardless.
yeah.
That's a fact.
I want to because in that vein, like what was a time that you think, because we're gonna get into the whole journey, we're gonna talk about the movie stuff too, because content creation is a whole different ball game from like the sport side of it first. But like, what was the point that you realized that like you have this shit when it came to like golf, at least?
So I played my fast forward. I started as a junior, kind of got solid, but then I picked up the love of basketball, and basketball was a whole nother challenge for me because again, like golf, it really don't matter your size. And like once you get the ability to swing it, at that point you just playing your own ball. Basketball is very athletically inclined. You know, it's a tall man sport.
Yeah.
So
Was you good at it?
I was.
Nigga was cooking niggas,
Don't
bro.
even try to be humble.
Yeah.
I usually, oh, you seen footage?
seen- I seen the footage.
I used to get to it, and every once in a while, I still like get with my buddies. But from the golf side, I stopped playing after my freshman year when I went to a private school. We'll get into like what that means, you know, being a black kid in a predominantly white campus.
Yeah.
But yeah, I dropped it for 4 years and came back to it a year ago. And I came back. I went out with my buddies, and they thought that I was, you know, they knew
They
that I
thought you
played
was
golf. Yeah, they
washed.
they thought that I was gonna like throw out some nice shit, because they was like, oh, we know you're a golfer, we don't golf at all, and I hadn't played in 4 years. My goofy ass thinking I was about to go out there and shoot some tiger shit. You cannot take 4 years off of golf and think you about to come back King Kong. You know, golf is the only sport that don't give a fuck what you look like, where you came from, or what type of money you got. That shit will humble you regardless.
Yeah.
And I went out there, and my first score coming back to it was a 93. Which anybody that knows with golf, that's absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
So I said, I got to get back in the lab. And that's when, shout out to my coach, Brian Owens. He saw me at Top Golf. This is when I took a year off from the brokerage. I had already sold it. And he said, hey, hit another one. He saw me hit a drive. I hit another one. He's like, you ever thought about doing this professionally? I said, nah, fuck no. And he said, I want you to come back here every day, and I'll train you for free. He was a PGA coach, so I mean, he could be charging $125 for an hour. And he said every day, and that was his first time meeting me. He's like, every day, come back here, and I'll train you for free. I'm thinking he bullshitting, so I said, oh yeah, for sure. Give me his card. I go back to the crib. I go to, you know, next day, I'm chilling in the bed. He calls me. Where the fuck you at? I'm like, oh, you dead ass. Yeah, you dead ass serious. So, and that's what started the whole.
That's
okay, I think I can really. I'm gonna take a run at it.
Coach.
Yeah, PJ coach.
That's
What are
crazy.
the odds? That's like me and you going to like a batting cage somewhere, and a nigga from the MLB say,
See fucking Joe.
Let me see another one.
yeah, you see fucking Joe Madden or some shit. That's crazy.
It's like similar to John Morant's story. Like John Morant, before he like went to Murray State and all that, he got cited in a gym where they had a tournament, and it was like 3 gyms down, and he was doing 3-on-3 pickup. And the dude seen him like come to Murray, and that's John Moran is who John Moran is now.
That's wild.
That is crazy.
I want to alley-oop to you to get into like the fully banking on that ability. Because like now, like building through the story, you have now been noticed, and now you're starting to consider like doing this golf shit for real. So when I was gonna ask you, like, where does it look like the content part coming in? and kind of fully getting to a point where you're like, okay, I'm confident enough to do this? What was your question that you had about his like leaving the job? And doing
Okay.
that shit?
So, right, as a lot of people know, I left my job in August, and we briefly talked about it. I know.
Man, if anyone could do it, they would do it.
Yeah, on God. I left my job in August. So, and I know all of the mental shit that you go through dealing with all of that shit.
Yeah.
What was, I would say, cause my biggest push, not only the just overall what I wanted to do, but also it was having to move. What do you think that push for you was, where it was like, okay, I'm quitting this job, and now it's real. Like what sent you into that second gear, if like so to speak?
For sure. So all my bosses and my coworkers, they follow me, so y'all get to know the real now. But shout out Max, Kev, Malik, Trav, all of those guys. When they hired me, I had just left being an assistant pro at an indoor simulator spot in Cleveland. And I knew I needed money. I was starting to come up through the golf space social media wise. And I said, I gotta make this work. And there's a baby plan that when you sign onto a dealership where you get like half the commission and you can still get like a certified check.
You were at
I was at a dealership.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I was working at Honda. And they when they hired me, they was like, yeah, bro, we think you'd be great for this. You're articulate and you're really growing this space. And in my head, I'm like, nigga, I'm only here for 2 months, bro. Yeah. And that's in the back of my head. But I had to get the job. Yeah, sorry, Max. I had to get the job. I told Max, like, yeah, bro, I'm into this shit. Like, I'm in it, bro. Like, I said,
something about the car.
Yeah, I said, let's fucking go. Like, I really want to change the culture here.
I admire Honda. That's what I was on. Same shit. I feel like.
You feel me?
You gotta get in, bro.
Gotta do what you gotta do, bro.
You gotta do what you gotta do. I had to get in. Because obviously, if I was honest with them, they would have been like, well, we're not gonna invest in you to come on just to leave. Yeah. But at that moment, I knew. I said, you only get 3 months for the baby plan, and then you have to like get full commission. You get a draw, and it's stupid shit. Sometimes you don't make any money. So I said, you got 90 days to go balls to the wall with this golf shit while you working at. Mind you, dealership hours are 9 to 8 or 9 to 6. So it's either a 9-hour day or an 11-hour day.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I was waking up 4:30 in the morning, going to indoor simulator. I would eat breakfast, work out at Planet Fitness. I would go practice in the morning, hit the dealership, get off at 8, and then hit the simulator again to practice. Damn. Type. So those were my days. Go to sleep, do it all over again.
Hell yeah.
And then I was just posting.
Yeah.
And you just got to bet on yourself, bro. And then
have to.
When the East Side commercial thing, which we'll get into as well, when that dropped and they said, hey, we need you to come out, they had just let me go to Florida and meet with my boy Evan Thompson. My boy, shout out Evan Thompson. We flew down there to watch him. And when I came back, I said, I know y'all not going to let me go to New York. And he said, you right, but we know what you own, bro. And they was just, it was love. And they was like, if you fall on your ass, you always got a home here, but go be great.
Damn, that's
love you.
That's crazy.
That's so cool. I want you to relate, like, because that
was that
similar
because
for you?
that clock of being like, all right, I got 90 days. That's
So,
like
my thing was I was what happened? Okay, I'm trying to think of timeline. So boom, so like August, I went to AT&T. I was doing sales at AT&T. Fucking hated it. Destroyed my mental state. All types of. I was like, fuck.
Just draining.
Yeah. I was fucked. So then I go to Amazon and I get this other like bullshit ass job. I'm working like 20 hours a week, making like $200 a week. And I'm like, damn, I can't. I got a girl. I got 5 pets. I got fucking. She trying to move out. We trying to move out. Like motherfuckers can't do this shit. So then I'm like, all right, I need a new job. Looking. They end up cutting like hella positions at Amazon on some random shit. They cut a whole bunch of positions. They fucked over all of my teammates, like all types of shit.
Really?
Yeah, like it was crazy. They basically sent us home one day because they was like, yeah, y'all are doing a training at home. So we're like, oh, okay, cool, like modules.
Right.
We go home and do the modules, and a whole bunch of people, like they click into the modules thing, they get an email termination letter. Just random.
Really?
Yeah, mind you, these are seniors.
Them
These are
niggas
people
would
that's
have
been
to
there
see
for
me.
5 years, 10 years. The only reason why I ain't get fired is because I was a seasonal. I'm making $200. I don't give no fuck about me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, for real.
yeah, so it was crazy. So now I'm like, okay, I got a dip. I end up going to this job. And I remember I was talking to my boss, who is also like, she represents us damn near now. Shout out Brandy. I remember I'm talking to her. like about the job, and I'm like, yeah, I'm really into it. It was a HR position. I'm like, I'm really into it. I'm the youngest nigga in the office. I walk in with fucking J's on and shit. Like,
Fly as hell.
yeah, I had my military blacks on and shit. I'm like, nah, I'm really into it and da 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 da. And I'm just sitting there in my head. I'm like, I'm bullshitting. I'm like, I'm gonna be here for max a year. And I was like, if by the end of this year nothing's going on for me, I was like, then I'm gonna try to do what's it called?
Investigate?
No. Yeah, investigation. The remote investigations.
Okay.
Making like 100,000 a year. Okay. I'm gonna just stick to the Amazon.
The
shit.
funny thing with that, when you was talking about he was just bullshitting, Brandy ended up knowing he was bullshitting.
She knew I was bullshitting. She was like, yeah, I know you're bullshitting. So, and I'm gonna get to that. I ended up working. like a few months. And I'm always been a good worker, so I'm working my ass off, all types of shit. And then like 7 months into that bitch, I start decreasing, slowing down, because now that's when everything with Matt Barnes and everything, we started kicking off. Yeah, that's when shit started picking up for real. I'm making those decisions in my head the same way, like, all right, time limit. It's time. It's time to get out of here. It's time to, you know what I mean?
For sure.
I talked to Brandy. I'm like, yeah, I'm not saying I'm leaving, but you know, there's this. She's like, you're gone. She's like, no, she's like my mama. So she's like, boy, I know you leaving.
But she showed love, though.
Hell yeah.
Like, she already knew.
She's like, go do your shit.
Because she was an asshole, she could have fired you ahead of time. Like, he about to slide anyway.
Exactly. She's like, go do your shit. I'm already knowing what you was gonna do. In the same way your coach was like that, that anchor behind you. That's how Brandy was for me. So I'm like, all right, bet. She end up being like, go do your shit. I leave. Here the fuck we are.
Here the fuck we are.
The jam.
At the jam.
Damn. A question I wanted to ask you, because you talked briefly about like your basketball history, and I remember we were talking yesterday about how far you actually got in there. What was like the moment that made you realize, okay, I want to be done with basketball and go full on into the golf like creator?
For sure. So basketball. Funny story with Cleveland State, when I redshirted my first year, we had COVID. So I thought my senior year, basketball-wise, that shit was chalked. And I actually got cited in the student versus staff game, again, similar to John Morant. And then I redshirted my first year at Cleveland State. And then I had an opportunity to do some stuff with the Cleveland Charge with shout out Imani Bates, Craig Porter Jr.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, bro.
Imani Bates is stupid, by the way.
Oh, he's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Fucking play him, dude.
Yeah, please play him. Like, I don't know why we're not playing him.
I don't know why.
What the fuck are we doing?
And that's why you're knocked
The nigga like 6'9".
And that's why you're
what are
knocked
you
out.
talking about? You're bullshitting.
So, with that being said, a lot of guys, and I needed to make sure that I didn't fall into this trap. A lot of guys turn 24, 25, or even 30 years old, and these niggas is still talking about some, yeah, nigga, I still got to get into the gym. Nigga, it's over.
It's over. It's over. You got, bro.
Go get that CDL, my boy.
Similar.
Put them fries in the bag.
Put the fries in the bag, gang. What is you saying?
Gang, similar to our fucking experience with basketball. Gang, I was in high school, freshman year. I'm 5'1", 91 pounds. Nigga, I did conditioning. I went through the entire couple months of conditioning. Nigga, I'm looking at the trials. Mind you, our school is so big, but they already picking like who on the team. Right. I'm like, Matt, let's go to Chili's, nigga. Let's get to work. Nigga, I'm not making it. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
We was in this Park District basketball shit when we was real young. I remember I'm at the free throw line, bro. I airball that bitch. I'm like, let me pick this fucking camera.
You gotta know when it's like.
So I knew. I mean, that's probably the highest I was gonna go. I mean, you could go down and you could do. Could have went back to college. Could have went overseas. You're not gonna get paid overseas for real. It takes forever.
Yeah.
And for me, it was just like I gave the game everything I could. I'm cool with still busting niggas' ass at 30 years old and being able to say I played at an elite level and y'all niggas still can't guard me.
Yeah,
and that's cool.
That's right.
That's cool.
I got a similar experience to that too, because it was like, I got a similar experience to that too. It was like the day I tried out for HF baseball. I tried out for the varsity team. I tried out every year. They cut my ass. I'm like, okay. Varsity, I tried out. A nigga came in there throwing 95. I said, no, this is not for me. This is not for me.
95.
Like
high school, you have it in high school.
It's a blink and it's already gone.
That's
it's already
crazy.
in the catcher's mitt. I'm like, yeah,
high school is crazy.
I'm like, bro, I can't do that.
One nigga. I've seen one nigga throw 95 in high school. It was Lincoln Way. Lincoln Way East is like a big high school.
Niggas over there.
They're like a big like white
genetically
wealthy
mutated
high
white boys.
Yeah.
Genetically mutated white boys.
Some something in the lunch during lunch period at that school.
fucking with their chicken.
Because I'm seeing it. There were 2 days where we faced him. One day was my junior year. It was hot. We were at their field. I was like, cool. And I like made some contact. I hit it back at him. I said, maybe I'm good at this. And the next day it was 30 degrees outside. And he's throwing 95. I said, I give up. I struck out 3 times. Not for me, big dog. Last year.
And it don't even be looking like they throw for real. They just
It's just effortless.
Oh yeah, you built for this shit.
Speaking of effortless, and we'll talk about it. We went. Actually, we got to see your golfing prowess in person.
Yes.
My God.
And
Oh,
dog
my
was
goodness.
whacking that
It's
bitch.
Mind you, first time at Top Golf, I'm looking at this big ass field. I'm like, bro, this is huge. He's getting up there. He looked back at us because I'm like, I don't know if he about to boom this. I don't know what's gonna happen. He talking about, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna hit this one good for real. I'm like, I don't know.
like. And
Do we have the footage
Do
of
we
him
have the
booming
footage?
this?
we gonna go on jam.
Yeah, Brian.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's him.
Do we want to go? Do we want to go jam format?
he can
Nah,
rate
nah,
ours.
no, we gotta-
Okay,
we'll
okay.
get there.
Yeah. He can rate ours after, but because we was some.
He like, no, I don't know if I'm gonna hit it
I
good.
don't know if I'm bang this one.
Hopefully y'all can see this
Hopefully,
down. Turn
yeah,
your
I know,
brightness
we
up.
black. Fucking
Look at that
murder
fucking
shit.
swing, bro.
Murdered the ball.
Bang
Murder.
out.
Wait, I think if you can find the first one where I'm kind of explaining and I'm like,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
we gotta
Like,
we
I
can
might
put it. We
shank
might be
this
able to
bitch.
put
Yeah, we
it
can
in like
put it in
those
post.
shit.
Yeah.
But either way, what y'all need to know is he murking it. Like I've never. I was playing the weed back in the day. I was yeah. So you know what I'm saying?
That's
I'm getting,
childhood.
you know what I'm saying? We on some shit. He teaching us how to do it all type shit. I'm like, oh, let's see his swing. He's hitting the back of the fucking net. It's going. I think the first one he hit was 100 and what was it? 189 or 180 off the
a little
fucking
little
driver or some shit. What are we talking about?
I was gonna say it's not often like about the 95 miles an hour shit. It's not often that you see the D1 golf thing fits because it's not often that you see like that type of like could be D1 talent. I want to ask you. What is it before you before we get into ours and you can give us your rating? Do we want to do that at the end? We can do that. Like
No. We can do it.
we can do it
now. Real quick before we get into that, I want to ask quickly, what is your best and worst moment you think with golf?
like from like publicly.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right. All right. Best moment. I just posted a video with Eastside.
That's
that
I
drive,
did see it.
that gallery. I've never hit in front of a gallery. It was probably like
Can you explain
40.
what a gallery is for everybody?
Yeah, so a gallery is just like it's like fans that are in the NBA. Like if you go to an NBA game, obviously there's fans in seats. You're standing. The gallery will follow you throughout your round.
It's real PGA shit.
Yeah, real PGA shit. Like, and they'll walk with you. This was a celebrity game. Shout out the legend, the Bus. Played for Pittsburgh. Got a ring with them. So I played with him, Earl Cooper, who is the owner of Eastside. And it was myself and a first tee kid, which was dope to kind of mentor him as well because I came through the first tee. So I stepped up on the box. Mind you, on the first hole, which I did not post, and I will post it because I don't mind showing like my lowlights. I like didn't hit the ball well off the turf. And in my head, like now I'm rattled. And it takes a special kind of like mentality. We got up to the drive and I said, I only thought to myself, this can go either really, really bad or fucking amazing. And it's hard to keep negative thoughts out because they just
they manifest.
they're just gonna.
just
You
there.
can't even stop it. You're thinking about like, what if I duff this bitch? You feel me? So I just got up there, took a deep breath, and then the last words that I said to myself is, "Nigga, you're D1," and then boom, just hit.
We gotta like. If y'all don't know, like, if you didn't see it, we gotta like, I don't know, we gotta link it or something.
We gotta put the footage like
I'll send the raw video.
That shit was.
And
When
just
I saw
hearing
that,
everybody
I was like,
behind it.
he hit.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit. They were like, oh shit, good ball and all of that.
And that's, I think, during that moment, because it's so easy when you have that one fuck up to be like, all right, like,
To fold.
I'm done.
To fold. Yeah, to fold.
But I think in that moment, you accept, like, hey, I could be
I'm here.
fucked up.
I'm here.
more
At
so
the end of
rise
the
back
day.
up.
It's more so about like what it really is like you were saying, like you gonna get those negative thoughts. It's always gonna happen. Bro.
Oh, yeah.
You always
And
gonna
that's the
be
thing.
that anxiety is always going to be there. In
Yeah.
a sense,
It's not
it's
gonna go
work. It's learning how to like deal with it, work through it, etc.
Especially when you progress in the field too, it's just gonna be more crowds, more everything.
Yeah.
That applies
So
to
you gotta-
everything. Like,
And this is
Yeah.
your first time having a gallery follow you.
Yeah, that was my first time, and it wasn't. We were playing for charity, so
dope.
it still you just don't want to. You don't want to mess up in front of
Yeah, you
anybody.
still don't wanna-
Yeah.
On top of like, it was surreal because everybody was coming to the event to see the bus and to see me. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this is the bus, like legend, like NFL legend, Hall of Famer. And they're literally shouting me out on the mic, like, we got our celebrity guest, D1. And I'm just like,
Celebrity.
Can you say
that's crazy.
his full name, the football player's full name? For
Yes,
people who don't know?
Jerome Bettis. Shout out Jerome Bettis, man. Absolute legend. And he came out, showed love to all the kids. And the fact that the kids knew who I was, knowing that, because I obviously my audience is like middle-aged, like dudes. The fact that the kids knew who I was and they be watching me, like, that's just a whole different perspective, bro.
It's a different feeling. I want to ask before you get to revealing what you think is your worst moment, you can view a couple of our worst moments in real time. I need to get out of 10 ratings on these swings because we all went to Top Golf. This is my second time being to Top Golf. It was like all y'all first time being there.
For sure.
And I picked the best swings out of everybody. So
yeah,
best swings. Best
Shit,
swings.
I don't know when I haven't looked back at my swing. Here we go.
That's it.
This was your boy on this one.
Oh my, that was
actually, it didn't go as far as you might think it would. But that was straight.
Oh my God.
that was straight.
Okay, the form was down.
You want me to rate that one right now?
Yeah, run it back a little bit. Yeah. Rate that out of 10.
You know what I really like? A lot of like amateurs get so into like their swing like not looking pretty, or like they want it to look really good aesthetically. If that motherfucker work, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't want to like raise this foot, but a lot of pros raise it, and you basically did a pro move there, raising the front leg because you want to get your weight back to the front.
That's
so
that
when you
baseball.
and you hit it great. I'm giving that. Not gonna lie, that looked. I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I don't remember that either.
So that's definitely like 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
That was tough.
Yeah,
9 out of 10.
I'll thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I felt like shit that entire time, because I'm hitting it. It's bouncing. That was one of the good ones. That's
Okay,
nice.
for sure.
W.
I'll take my
for
9.
putting the good one in that motherfucker. Holy shit.
Oh, shit.
Holy shit. I ain't about to kill
He
it.
one-handed. Wait.
I just see it in the air.
Go back in. Here we go. AB.
Baseball. You know, that you could tell AB was trying to like fucking trying to murder that bitch. Yeah, no, that was tough. I think I kind of, it was some fashion there at the end. With the baseball swag. Yeah, the baseball swag. I'm giving that like 8.4. 8.4.
Okay.
I like
First
that.
time at Top Golf, I'll take it.
That was great.
I'll take it.
Who's next?
Who's next?
Al.
Mind you,
Al.
guys.
This is
It was dark as shit. I'm so sorry. It was dark as
No,
shit.
it was because like the sun.
The sun.
Yeah, the sun was on the other.
I don't know why in the hell I woke up knowing I'm going to Top Golf and put on black Timbs.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Timberland boots.
Timberland boots.
Still did better than me on average, but let's look at this shot.
So
He hit
short,
that bitch though.
short follow through. You made contact.
Did make contact.
I do want to see a little bit more width in the backswing.
Yeah.
But you were so swagged out, and the fact that you wore Timbs was really like that's an iconic statement. Not gonna lie. So I'm gonna give that a solid 8.
See,
Solid 8.
That's
You feel
hard,
me?
that's hard.
I like the effort that was
Solid
put
8.
into that.
And last but certainly not.
I really don't remember my swings, but I did have a weed though. He did.
Matt was hitting them bitches like a lot throughout
that's
the
a
day.
fact.
I need to see it. Oh, we have internet.
W.
Here we go.
W internet.
Okay, you see the stance. Okay.
I like the hesitation up top. So there's a guy named Ben Kruper who actually pauses. Who actually pauses at the top of his swing, and then he follows all the way through.
Oh shit.
So you,
I feel like it gave me a little
you was
bit. I
low-key
feel like
on
it gave me a little bit more control as I'm coming up. I felt like I was coming up too fast. You know what I mean? I had to, check the wind. Now,
yeah, I'm gonna get that solid. I'm gonna get that like 8.5.
okay.
Yes, sir.
8.5.
W.
Everybody's above 7, which is elite. So for the first time playing,
Jam goes golfing.
that's tough.
at the
Jam goes
country
golfing.
club.
Y'all will see.
Jam at the country club. on some shit.
Y'all will see a lot more of that content as it comes through. But I was gonna ask, because we're gonna get back into obviously your journeys with getting better at the sport and everything. But let's get into the real.
Wait, worst moment?
Oh yeah, worst moment. First,
Worst
sorry.
moment.
Yeah.
Worst moment was when I went down to Florida for Evan Thompson's thing, and it was my first time playing what's called Bermuda grass, which is a different type of grass than up. You know,
I seen the lawn dude be doing.
yeah, fact. So I wasn't really acclimated to the space. I didn't play well, and now that I am a golf creator, the expectation is I'm gonna go out there and shoot even every time.
That's not the case.
That's not the case because golf is so hard,
It's a sport.
and
It's
I
a
go
sport,
through so many swing changes to get to where I really want to be at. Right now is probably the best that my swing has felt in a long time, and it's really just grinded that in. Like I just switched my grip up, so instead of normal
the
grip,
10 finger,
the
right?
10 finger,
Can you
right? Which is
explain
kind of
that?
going viral on Instagram. Like a whole bunch of people are starting to hit me up, like went to the 10 finger. It's crazy now because it's frowned upon. Like not a lot of people do it. It's unorthodox, and no one wants to be unorthodox.
Yeah,
They
can you
just
show us how?
yeah. So this is interlock, which is what most pros use, and then there's a pro that's on the tour now. He has a 10 finger grip, and it's only like 5 of them. Versus like 400 people that's in the field, right? So that's like 0.%. And so baseball grip was how you guys grip a baseball. It's not as spaced out because I feel like do you guys have spaces on baseball?
Some people do. I hate it.
You kind of
have to have it together. Yeah.
Okay. So instead of like I wouldn't hold a golf club like this with the 10 finger, it kind of looks more like that.
Yeah.
Kind of looks more like that. More connected, kind of squeezed together. And then that thumb is not like holding it like this.
Pointing.
It's kind of pointed.
Do that.
Yeah. So it just didn't feel athletic. And I've been interlock my whole life. And I just switched literally like 2 weeks ago.
You know, this remind me of like you play claw.
Yeah, come on.
And you play claw.
Yeah, we used to grind Fortnite and like we used to grind Fortnite back in the day. So like there was different ways of holding
hold a controller.
Yes, you could hold it regular, and then like if you wanted to be really good, you could like hold it in like claw position. But the thing is, you'll lose your fucking finger. Yeah. So like when I'm like 28, I'm gonna have like a bionic hand.
Yeah.
When me and Josh, we kind of relate to that, like changing the grips, because usually when we're batting, well, when we first started out batting, like I would have like the bat like these, so my bows would be out and shit. But now you gotta kind of like line up your knuckles and like I get that, bro.
You're not as tense.
You gotta find that.
You gotta let it flow.
And you think it drastically improved like your game?
Yeah, man. I think it took a while before I went to Detroit to like clear my mind like a week before I came to Chicago because I had played the like worst round of my life out there with my boy Tone. That video that did like 3 million views. That's him. And we went out there. Right? Yeah, not like by blood, but like bro, that's big bro.
Okay, gotcha.
Big bro. So. We got the same dream. We went out there, couldn't find the back of the ball. Like I looked like I had never played golf before. And I came home, and my mom, she was like, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to Detroit." And I packed up all my stuff, threw it in a caddy. And my aunt lives out there. She owns a natural hair care company. And we went out there, and I pulled up. She was in Aruba, so the crib was empty. And I said, "Yeah, I'm crashing. I'm just gonna get my game right." And I went up there for like 2-3 days. I grinded out at her range. I just needed a different scenery and just to be to myself.
That's dope as hell.
We gotta start golfing, man.
We gotta start golfing.
I ain't gonna lie, if there's one thing,
bro.
my dad been fucking with golf. He always was like talking about like Tiger and all types of shit, getting into like all the golf shit. We definitely, that was my first time like actually like swinging like at like Top Golf. We could do this shit like for real. That shit's so peaceful, bro.
Yeah. I remember being a kid and my mom tried to put me in golf lessons and like I didn't want to and she forced me to. And I was just like, bro, this shit is stupid. And then I remember my uncle was golfing. I'm like, why do you like this shit? He's like, it's a peace thing. And I think it was a thing for me until I got older. I was like, I could really see how this could like clear your mind.
For sure.
Yeah. Especially take a lot of shit off.
Damn.
Agreed.
That was right before you came to Chicago.
That was right before. Like I had played the worst golf possible, and then I went and played some of the best golf in a practice round where I was kind of jumping around my home course that lets me play for free. And I was putting the ball basically wherever I wanted to. And it's hard because then you think you really got it figured out, and then you don't.
Yeah.
But when you can get there, the potential is like, damn, like I was 2 under through 8 holes. I could really do this shit. Like 2 under through 8 is tough to do.
Yeah.
So I was like in my head, I'm like, okay, like we're getting somewhere. And it's just grinding it out every day.
Yeah. I can already feel like that mindset. It's very easy to slip into, especially like as an athlete, where you have those good days and those bad days. I was gonna ask mainly about like the centering yourself in this journey that like you've been on, because we've talked about we mentioned briefly earlier about like being a black person in a predominantly white sport.
It's about to get spicy.
It's about to get spicy.
It's about to get spicy.
So I remember that's something that me and him obviously had experience with growing up playing baseball. And there's something that like there's a lot of uncomfortability, especially with us in a lot of spaces, because there's that thing of conformity that always kind of gets brought up. And we as people especially like have our own flair to shit. Niggas create the culture for a reason. So you oftentimes see when that gets in the same space as people who are not used to that or who have all types of negative stereotypes about that, there's clashes there.
Right.
So I want you to speak to a little bit about your experience. What has been your experience like being a black person in a predominantly white sport in America, and how do you think that has like affected you?
For sure. Yeah. At the private school that I was at, when I was actually going into it, and all of those guys, I mean, it's a whole bunch of white kids. They've been around country clubs their whole life. When I went to tryouts and I first got accepted to the private school, the coach, my mom walked up to the first tee box. I had my clubs. I even had a jacket that would insinuate that I was going to the school in the fall. And the coach said, hey, man, you know, you can either go right in front of us or we'll be right out your way. And my mom was ready to like tear his shit off because he was insinuating that I wasn't there for the tryouts. Because he was saying like, you can either go ahead or you can just wait and we'll be out of your way in a minute. And it's like, no, nigga, I'm here.
He thought you was just going to play.
He thought, it was like, no, nigga, I'm here to play. So growing up, you always have, especially on the tee box, like when you're on the tee box at a new course, especially at a country club, you'll see, you can't always think that all those members, when they come around and they watch you, it's not necessarily to see if you're going to hit it well. It's really to see like, this black motherfucker think he nice. Who does he think he is coming to my country club? Yeah, teeing off. And it'll be controversial. Like when this segment itself might blow up just because a lot of white golfers are oblivious to it and they get super defensive when I bring that up. But it's my experience. I know what it's like when people are coming to watch you to see you boom it, and when people are coming to watch you to see you duff that motherfucker. And it's been plenty of times where they're just kind of in the background waiting to see like, this nigga think he Tiger. You know, and then I boom that bitch, and then then it's a whole bunch of dick riding. It's
now it's
wow, you're so athletic.
Right. Did you see that video on my page?
I saw that.
For sure. So that one did crazy, did like 2.5 mil, and basically the dude's like, bro, if I had your athleticism, I'd smoke your balls. Which, first of all, pause.
We smoke my what?
Crazy? You gonna smoke what?
Bro, and when I posted it, I was only posting it saying like that comment itself, like smoking balls was crazy, pause. But it turned into a whole like racial tension that it was a lot of black people coming into my defense, like really athleticism versus like the skill that he put in to get there. And I never really thought about it like that.
You don't have to be weird.
It's that. So the thing that pisses a lot of people off, right, and a lot of like white people who don't want to hear the shit or react negatively, thing that pisses them off is because you have to get a perspective on what dehumanization looks like in real time. And just because you're not literally owning a slave does not mean that you see somebody as a full person. If you're looking at somebody who's an athlete, they already assume, because black people will be predominantly like in athletic stuff, that you're like, that raw athleticism, like it's some ingrained essential part of black anatomy or something on some scientific racism shit. And you make that assumption because you see those black players around you and you don't credit it to their determination, their hard work to make sure they get there, to XYZ. It's that inborn skill, because that's the only way they can be.
That's the only way they can do it. They gotta be
nice at the shit.
Generational fucking alien just to get up there.
You're 40 and your knee hurt. Like, when were you talking? You can compete, right? Still. So like there's obviously like elements to it, and I feel like that kind of that's being too woke. That's a little bit too much for people, but that's an assumption that you make every day. You just say it. You don't even realize the implications of it.
I wanted to talk about, since you brought that up, going back to the high school thing, because I went to a private school too, and the whole environment was different from coming back from like a diverse place to like just predominantly white people. And I realized that experience, like going through high school, I was so used to kind of being that commodity in a sense of like niggas using that like racist jokes. And it's like, haha, because I'm so used to just white people. We just want friends. I wanted to ask you, like, how being in those predominantly white fields, how did you still keep like yourself and being like, I'm a black man in this field, and not being that commodity, and really standing strong on that.
Because you hinted at like the tokenization thing too, so I want to get
right, and that's not to. I'm not like taking a jab at First Tee with it, but it's the reality that they do have to understand that that is what I was used for in that moment, right? Because you're trying to put on diversity, which is very important, but it's also important to
actually have diversity.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Just
you
put
have
the
to
black
put.
kid up there.
Can't just can't just push a black person up there and then say we got
diversity.
Right. Exactly.
Hell no.
Can't use a selling point.
It's important to enlist those things and make sure that those things are happening, right? And it's just important that we have representation in the sport because, unfortunately, a lot of white people think, and even black people think that golf is a white sport.
Yeah.
Mind you, the greatest nigga ever to ever touch a fucking club, black as hell.
Yeah.
Whether he accept that or not, is a different story. It's a different story. And even the pioneers, the first person to play golf in America was black, John Shippen. People don't know. We don't talk about that.
I didn't know that.
You feel me?
We just do this shit. Every day I find out about another
Isn't this a crazy thing to think about? When you look at the top in any industry.
I know what you're about.
You already know where I'm going with this shit. Come the fuck on, nigga. You already know where I'm going. When you look at the top of any industry, whether you like the person or not, when not given the same opportunity or the same head start that our white counterparts and our sisters and brothers have, we still have excelled to being revered as one of the greatest examples. You look at boxing, you got Mayweather, or Muhammad Ali, or Mike Tyson, right?
Mike Tyson, yeah.
You look at golf, you got Tiger Woods. You look at basketball, Bron Jordan. You look at tennis, white as fuck, Serena fucking Williams. You look at gymnastics, Simone Biles. You look at
baseball, Barry Bonds,
Jackie Robinson. And then now let's take it a step further outside of the sporting aspect. You look at from a medical standpoint, I'm personally not a fan of this nigga. But Ben Carson, low-key that nigga when it comes to that shit. He's smart as shit. He's just dumb as shit.
Politically. Dumb as fuck.
You feel me? Like, we don't fuck with bro, but like at the same time, like
he did the
split twins?
Yeah, he was the first person to do
the
conjoined.
Oh shit, I didn't feel me. Conjoined twin surgery.
He was the first person to do conjoined twin surgery, where it's like the brain and everything like that. Yeah, it was a movie on it.
Ben Carson, he's one of the greatest. He just say dumb shit.
Yeah, he just can't be a politician.
Yeah, you feel me?
Stop.
And then
never be a never again. Some niggas need to stay. You know who else crazy? Stephen A. Never be a politician.
I'm not gonna sit your bitch ass like this. It's a shut up and dribble moment. I'm sorry. I have to be the one to say it. I have to.
Man.
So when you look at
Stevens, hell no.
So and then when you look at the highest of the high, you look at who runs shit. When you talk about a house that was built by slaves, and 400 years later, the nigga running that shit, Barack Obama.
Yeah.
And to think that the whole thing for the American dream is if you put your mind and you put, put all this ability, you can do anything in America. That's not our reality.
That's not.
And they hate when we say that because now we're victimizing and a whole bunch of bullshit.
Now we gotta pull up the fucking bootstraps and shit.
We'll focus on like DEI and shit. When you really look at it, like the point with all these black people being super good at the pinnacle of their sport does not mean that the discrimination didn't exist. It means that they succeeded despite the discrimination.
Correct.
Which means that they had to work harder than yo bitch ass to get there.
Yes.
That's
the second part that motherfuckers don't want to say.
Sorry, but statistically, LeBron James, Serena Williams, Michael Jordan is working a lot harder in their circumstances
to
get
goats.
there.
These are all like these are the greatest to ever do this. And they're all black.
So that does not mean that like it's just the innate. That means that you have literally systemically like disadvantaged people, and they will do that shit regardless.
And
imagine what black representation could look like in sports if some of those barriers.
If everything started this, and that's the argument is if we all started the same, where would
we be?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. And going back,
They don't wanna go there.
y'all
Right.
named all those people, and they started at that disadvantage being
day.
in those industries. How did you still maintain that confidence being in a dominated white field?
That element of yourself.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I just like to remind myself that my ancestors like do this shit. Like Charlie Sifford, who was the first PGA, like pro PGA. He ran a Cleveland like the course that I went viral at. He ran that course. And I'm really good friends with his son Junior, who's a lot older now. And Charlie Sifford Jr. A lot of people might not know this either. If you're a golfer, you know. But Charlie Woods is named after Charlie Sifford. So it's crazy that Tiger Woods. It's weird that he's named after one of the greatest black golfers of all time. Yet Charlie Woods won't ever really know the magnitude because of kind of what Tiger believes in. And that's not to take away anything that Tiger has done. He's the whole reason that I play the game. I just feel that, and this argument could be made as well, I feel that he could represent us better. Now, you might say, people might pull up a whole bunch of shit of Tiger, like, giving back to charities and all this and that, right? That shit doesn't get publicized, though. The things that do get publicized is this nigga fucking with Trump.
And you got to know that.
You feel me? And you got to know that.
You got to understand that,
right?
That's that same shit we talk about with Kai. Like, you got to understand, okay, Kai can build a school here, there, but that shit not getting posted. It's the big shit. And whether it's the truth or not, okay, you have to speak your own truth as a Kai Cenat, as a Tiger Woods. Or you're going to let them define you.
You know what I mean? It's so important that like people, especially when you're the greatest, you have that responsibility now because you have a voice. And I think because we talk about it all the time as being black and kind of getting up in the world, you almost forget that perspective of being black because you're not around it. And I feel like that's what's happened to Tiger. And
What were you gonna say, AB?
I was gonna say too, like all the names that we've mentioned being the greatest of all time in their respective fields, and I kind of feel like some of these niggas, they would try to use that and say, well, I mean, if they can do it, I guess there is no racism.
There isn't
right?
any
And it's
disadvantage.
like, no,
Crazy
statement.
Which
It's
is
a
funny,
very crazy statement.
Considering Thurgood Marshall became a Supreme Court justice in the middle of like people getting pepper sprayed and beat
Which is
for
crazy
wanting to have rights as black people. Yes, your personal upward mobility does not mean the demographic is
niggas
A-okay. That means that they're
Exactly.
succeeding, like I said, despite this shit. And I feel like that pisses a lot of people off. The thing that I kind of wanted to like get into about distinguishing it, because like you said, like someone like Charlie will be named after like a black legend. Not really like fully get that. There's a reason why Tiger was mentioned in Trump's thing where he briefly talked about black history and was like, yeah, that's the thing,
And Tiger Woods. Here, nigga.
That's literally what it is. So
my
I wanted
God.
to ask because, and I'm gonna get into a little bit of my experience with it too. One of the things that I've noticed about like baseball too, predominantly white sport in America, that's called America's
Jesus,
pastime.
so
despite
much
the
fucking
fact-
racism.
Despite the
in
fact
it,
that the
bro.
Dominican and Japanese
Dominate
much more love the
Yeah.
sport than America does.
sure.
But even if you look at like the top 10 list, like home run wise, I think one of the only white people on there is Babe Ruth. And then you have niggas like
I don't
Barry
even- wait.
Bonds, and you have Hank Aaron, and you have Alex Rodriguez, and you have all types of people who are either Dominican or African American or everything.
Ethnicity.
I heard that Babe Ruth was Dominican though.
Was he?
I don't know.
I'm not
Maybe.
gonna get into the genealogy. George Herman Ruth.
I don't like that one, bro.
Stay over there.
How many niggas gonna be in the Congress? He was Dominican. Like the white pride. White pride shit.
But,
Trolling these niggas.
in
Fuck
a more optimistic but still realistic sense, what do you think is something that you'd love to see in like golf or in your field that would get more black like kids interested?
Yeah. I think a big issue with some of the golfing programs in America, I'm not going to single out any single one, but it's very cookie.
You know who you are.
It's very cookie cutter. And I think when I was growing up, we truly focused on skill. I think a lot of things that it's a lot of young parents that are our age or a little bit older, they're a part of the social media. So you trying to put your kid into what's trending.
Yeah.
And
You're
you
still
also
on
just
that
trying to,
mindset.
you trying to dump this nigga off on some babysitting type shit. This nigga don't want to be here. You need to figure out, does he are you trying to expose him to it? And if he tells you I don't want to do it, then at that point you pull him out. Or because I've seen a kid 3 summers in a row come to first tee and he don't want nothing to do with golf at all. But Duke's just trying to get an hour and a half at the crib. So it's starting to water, and we've had to water things down and cookie cut things, and it's been way more about like life morals, which that's totally fine. The niggas still got to learn how to putt. The niggas still got to learn how to hit a ball.
There's a lot of black people that even like I've heard or know where it's like my mom and them will say shit like that. Was like, oh, you know, should have got you into golf, or you make money. Okay, yeah, but like y'all are kind of, if anything, you taking away from the love of the game as well.
Correct.
Because like you said, you have to like it. So it's like you're putting me in it because black man, white sport. That's already in your brain. You've been socialized to believe that. Oh, I'm gonna put my son in this because I want him around all the white people.
And you want to know another thing, and this is funny because it perfectly segues into the classism.
It's not for
the classism question that you're
exactly.
Do you think that one of those solutions can be like making the sport itself more accessible when it comes to things like equipment, because there are a lot of people who will try to make that call like an investment. They'll want to be like, all right, cool, I don't give a fuck if you like it or not, but this at the end of the day might be one of the only things that you could do to change our circumstance, which is horrible. You shouldn't push that onto your kid at a young age. But you kind in that you kind of lose the ability to gauge whether or not they actually fuck with it. So do you think that like if taking down some of those class boundaries, making a lot of this shit like more expansive, more affordable, would allow for like you to get a pool of people who care?
Yeah, I agree. I think like if you take it back to just all the things like redlining, systemic racism, and all of those things combined, it stems to golf as well, right? Golf is the only sport that you can like low-key suck in and still gain substantially your social status. It's the only sport that allows a full conversation, but they put these unwritten rules in these places to where these are the only men that control the world that play it, that we, even if we really wanted to do it, we'll never be able to access it because we don't have the money to afford the polos, the clubs, the shoes, the tees, the balls. And that goes back to, you know, why like black families can't make as much as, you know, families that, you know, that aren't of color and things of that nature.
Effectively frozen out of it.
Correct. It's all like trickle effect. We can't compete in it because our parents don't make enough to do it because
country clubs are $300 an hour.
These clubs I'm looking at right now say $1,000 on them.
Real quick, how much does it cost for like a full golf gear, like full everything, clubs,
like give us like an average
for sure.
Estimate.
So thankfully, like I signed with Tacoma, which they're like one of the first brands to make really good irons, but not charge like not trying to hit niggas over the head for them. So you can get a full set for like, and this is still kind of crazy, but you can get a full set for like $600 to $700 versus like everybody else will charge you $1,600 to $2,000.
Damn.
You know, but also like you said, that's not. You gotta also understand it's a mindset thing within our communities. Gang, you got like moms and dads buying their 8th graders a Mary shoes and a Mary gym. Like them is $1,000 shoes.
It's all about where you want to put the dollar.
Exactly. So it's like that $800. Like I remember we didn't have money like that, but I was begging my mom to give me a PC because okay, this PC gonna allow me to not only play FORE competitively, but also fucking do content, do shit. You know what I mean? And those are certain instances where, as parents and as that older generation, we got to change our own view of the sport.
For sure.
It's a hella black people right now that's like, this golf shit lame as hell. What the fuck do I look like playing golf? Da, 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 da. And it's like, gang, you're tripping. Like, you're really tripping.
And
Agreed.
What you said with like, when it comes to a lot of black families spending that unnecessary money on children with shoes like that, like Amiri shoes. And the reason they do that is because the perception is, okay, for my kid to fit in this world, they need that expensive thing. And I know when it comes to golf, the whole perception of it is privileged because you need to get that expensive shit to fit in.
Yeah, that polo.
How was that when
you
you were first
mean?
getting into golf, being young, and probably might not having the money to afford those things? How did you still fit into that?
Yeah, Duke's, shout out Duke's. I mean, she just sacrificed so much for us. She made sure that we at least had the bare minimum to allow us to get on the box. You know, as long as I can get on that box, that's all that matters. I'll take care of the rest. So she giving me the khakis. She giving me the like a collared shirt, and that's really all you need. You might still be looked down upon because you ain't got the polo on. But nigga, come look at this game, nigga. Like, what's up? And you know, it's getting to the point where even on the post, that's why I do post in the jerseys and shit like that. Cause they'll be like, oh, what fucking weak ass course let you? And then I fucking name the course, and they're like, oh shit, like they let you go out there. You can wear whatever, like you said, rules only apply to us, right? Because you got guys like, and I love John Daly. This isn't a shot at him, but I mean, this is just the privilege that he has. Yeah, John Daly's like a crazy, talented golfer on the PGA Tour, and you see him all the time, like barefoot on the course, like super open shirt.
That's just your style, man.
Yeah, that's just right, exactly. And then I'll be in the comments, like when they post John Daly doing that shit, I'll be like, oh, but I can't wear a jersey. I can't, like, I got shoes on. Bro ain't even got no shoes on.
What's so fucked up about that is like, because I remember I was looking up like golfers who do push the boundary when it comes to fashion, and like a person like that will be highlighted because it's like, oh well, he's doing like something different.
That's
rather than
pushing
if you
the
were to do it.
boundary.
That's pushing the boundary.
If you were to do it, that's fucking the game up.
They own you.
Disrespecting.
They gonna hate. If I ever, I'm telling you, like the amount of practice I put in
just to see what the fuck is gonna happen. Walk on the field barefoot.
You feel me? Yeah, bro, it would blow up because my algorithm was going slow one time, and I was like, let me just throw a wife beater on. And I threw the wife beater on, and it just, it got like 40K in like a day. Easy.
What was it? Crazy.
I mean, so the first time, my first video that went viral when I was wearing the wife beater, it was a lot of hate, way more love than hate.
Yeah.
Now, I got such a big community that for the most part, niggas wasn't tweaking. It was like,
yeah,
bro, nice as hell, and he got a wife beater on. He cool as hell. So it's starting it's starting to change. When I first came out, it was who the fuck is this nigga? He think who he think he is? We don't know who he is. I didn't have no followers, and I had that, and it was popping off. They're like, who do you think you are?
A point just popped in my mind because I think that that's something that all of us have done in a certain sense, where it's like we've been told and advised, and we've seen how niggas like kowtow to certain shit, how they like fit inside a box to try to give themselves the highest earning potential. And what I was gonna say is one of the things that we've tried to instill is kind of saying fuck it sometimes.
Yeah, fuck it.
And that love will come because now you found people who actually do fuck with that. And I think one of the things that we've talked about was like the language, because we all we've seen some of y'all comments.
We gonna talk about the OGs?
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
OGs
I wanted to get your thoughts because I'm like, along with the dress code stuff and obviously the perception that's gonna come with that, your content is a lot like my content in the sense that it's unfiltered because it's me. Right,
and it pushes the boundary because it's predominantly white. Yeah, they don't want you to do that.
Yeah, and the political field is also still like a predominantly like white field. It's very diverse now. It's supposed to be representative of the country, but you see where that power is still concentrated. For sure. So it's very easy for me to make a video and say some words in it, and people have problems with it all the time, even on this podcast.
I like the message, but why are you cursing so much?
Stop cursing.
So what has been your experience with?
The fuck.
So what has been your experience with like that backlash? If you face any of that?
No, for sure, it's terrible. I mean, people are in the comments all the time like, hell of a swing, but put a polo on.
Yeah,
fuck you.
Yeah.
Like,
polo
it's so much shit, bro.
Yeah.
It's so many parameters of shit that as black men and as just black people in general, we always gotta be on this to be taken serious, to be professional. What's it called? Code switching. And white people be doing nut shit. You got our president. Our president
1%.
is a felon.
Yeah.
Is a felon. Is a felon. What?
Convicted. Full stop.
Convicted. Full stop.
Around Diddy and them.
Yeah, hang around Diddy and them. And y'all are in the comments telling us like, yo, the message would be good, but you guys are cursing. Come on, bro. Stop the bullshit, gang.
Isn't that insane to think that from a people, and this obviously isn't everybody, because we meet great like white sisters and brothers.
Yeah, of course. Hell yeah.
But we're talking to people that just don't have a progressive mindset.
Yeah, they don't get it. Yeah.
They don't get it.
I was gonna say, this is not just a white people thing too.
It's not.
It's in the black community too, because I feel like when we think about it, right? My main thing, and this could be a controversial take, you could be mad about it. My main thing I want to try to do is I don't want black people to just be like successful and respected in whatever field they're doing. I want black people to be able to be human.
Yeah.
That's a luxury that niggas do not get, and you don't understand it until you start seeing it. If Trump can literally redefine a political era by removing the censorship, saying what the fuck ever. He got on mic and he was acting like he was dick sucking. Like literally he was acting like he was doing a blowjob on a microphone for a joke when he was on the stage. If people like that can do that, and you can see enough about them to be like, yes, crazy.
That's crazy.
President of the United States.
Yes.
If someone can see that, right, that means that you've unlocked a new aspect in your mind where you can see all the bad things about a person, but for whatever biases you have, you're like, oh, I still care about them. I still fuck with them. So if we're advocating for your ass at home and you agree and you can see where we're getting the conclusions from and you think that it's progressive and positive towards the advancement of black people, but you stall up because I said fuck. Like that is a standard that you're not holding.
Before you start, here's the thing, right? We can say, "Oh damn, they're rounding up all these people and they're deporting them." These fuck niggas are rounding up people and deporting them. You get this. You get the message. Still.
You know what I said. You know what I said. You know what I said.
You know what the crazy thing is about that? It really.
You know what I said.
Real.
You know what I said.
Yeah, the crazy shit about that is it really determines on like the subject matter and where like people, because it's a pick and choose thing.
Yeah, it is.
When it comes to being black and being entertainment, you can call someone a bitch ass nigga all you want. Nigga, white people laugh at that shit.
Yeah.
No
And
shots.
then golfing.
Literally, look at Kai. Like
Yeah.
Kai say the craziest shit.
Kai say
Laugh,
that shit.
all types of shit. But when it comes to subject matter we talk about, being in golf, and you cuss, and then it's like, oh shit, he's aggressive. Oh shit, he needs to stop. Because of that subject.
Depending on the avenue, you have to really conform to some of this shit. And I feel like when you do that, you eliminate black people's ability to be a person.
Yeah.
Correct. Like, the way I say things isn't gonna make you comfortable all the time.
Yeah.
Just like the way your mama say things ain't gonna make you comfortable all the time. You should afford people that.
And that's how we get at Tiger Woods. Nigga, mealworms knowing that his shit. That car accident changed it all.
For sure. And it's similar to like just white people or just in general allowing like just mainstream rap air on the radio, but you would never allow a rap song or a song in general be able to talk about killing and skinning cats and dogs and things of that nature. You would not allow that to air on the radio, yet you will allow niggas talk about niggas killing each other from a day-to-day basis and killing ops and talking about bitches. You'll allow that to air on the radio to us, but you would never allow a nigga that if he started rapping about skinning cats and killing baby dogs and shit, you would never. And
you have more of a moral like disgust about like some shit like
or for an animal versus a human being.
Who it's from.
And then take it one step further, you let Sabrina. Wait, who just
Sabrina them? Sabrina got an album cover, and Sabrina album cover, I think it's called "Man's Best Friend," and it's her in a dog collar, like on all fours, like looking like she about to suck a nigga dick or something. First of all, crazy. Sabrina, I want to let you know one.
I'm not trying to sound like that. I'm not trying to sound like that C-double-O.
But how you even know where I was going to go with it?
We love you.
Come on the jet.
But like, the point being, we love you. Yo,
the point being.
No, the point is no, real spill. The point is, niggas will see that.
Right.
And be like, damn, okay, Sabrina. Damn, oh my God. Niggas will see that and say, Sabrina, what's the word?
Right.
But then niggas will see Sexy Red talking about the same shit she talking about. It's the same provocative shit. And they'll be like, oh, Sexy Red, you're dooming the entire black community.
We're not saying like give Sexy Red
we're not saying
keep that shit the same with everyone.
What do we keep it consistent.
Yeah, don't pick and choose.
That's what we doing.
If it's a problem, then it's a problem, and it shouldn't be just a problem because a black woman said it.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck out of here.
Whatever fits the American model.
We're gonna get dragged out of the studio. So I want to quickly wrap up with: did we address? Is there anything big that y'all want to? Because we only gonna get one chance.
I want to
before you're on PGA Tour and shit.
I want to ask.
I know he gonna be on PGA. We never
right. So when it comes to baseball, right? We all have baseball athletes. We have like hidden rules, right? So one of them is you can't step on the foul line because like niggas done spent. It's bad luck. You can't like. When you step in the box, you can't like flick the dirt towards the catcher What else is there?
There, you can't flip your bat on a home run.
You can't flip.
That's changing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's
changing
changing.
now.
Niggas just fuck you, nigga.
Yeah. So like, yeah. So what are
Throw
some of
that
those
bitch.
like unwritten rules?
For sure, yeah, like not stepping in people's lines, and we actually talked about a little bit with how to keep the movie as authentic as possible. We talked about in there of like having those unwritten rules and learning those things in it, because you can't take away their unwritten rules. Should be there. There are some that are just absolutely stupid, like wearing a polo all the time and this and that. Like, it really shouldn't matter what you wear. Am I gonna shoot this 66 or 90? Because it's niggas that wear polos and pay $120 for a polo instead of buying a fucking PGA coach to fix that weak ass, my nigga. Go get a fucking coat. Go get a fucking
Decked
coat.
out in the
You worry
latest
about a
gear, can't even
polo,
swing that
Niggas
bitch.
spend $300 on a fit, nigga. You shot 99 today. Wrap it the fuck up.
Mama, like,
Fuck is we saying?
you got the game fucked up,
You
bro.
feel me?
Real
So
spill.
the small shit, like if I had kids, I would teach them, you know, you wait until people get off the green. You're not supposed to hit into them. You don't walk into people's lines on the green. You always shake hands after the 18th. Those are things that no matter what I'm wearing, it should still happen.
Exactly.
Right.
But
The other bullshit.
yeah, the other bullshit, fuck out of Cleveland, nigga.
Yeah.
And real quick, I want to ask you about that movie.
That movie, yeah.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, since we're about to get dragged out of here, this is what I say though. What's like? I want like the final overview of everything. Give us the movie. Give us fucking what's next.
Give you the
the
wrap-up.
brand. Yeah.
And
let's
where
hear
they
it.
can find.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear
Okay,
it.
so yeah, some of the biggest things that we're working on right now is the movie. The movie is the biggest thing. It's called Outta The Rough. Shout out Bill Hornack, and shout out Miss T. That's my my acting coach. They reached out to me about probably like 5 months now. Reached out about 5 months ago. They sent an email saying, "Hey, Brice, we're a big fan of you. We love your content. We see that you used to play basketball and that you play golf now. We need an actor that can do both in real life, so it's believing in the movie." I told them, I said, well, the first email I thought it was fake, so I trashed it. Then they sent another one. I was like,
that,
fuck
bro.
out of
Be
here.
like
I'm not like starting no movie. This is some bullshit. They sent another one, and we all hopped on a call, and it was all real. And he said, yeah, we want you to be a part of this movie. It's been in the works for like the past 3 years, and now we're kind of at the finish line of casting people. And they came across your stuff, and we want you to be a part of it. And I said, that sounds amazing. Only thing is, I can't fucking act. So right now I'm in acting class, and the movie filming should start late fall. And it's about a kid that his name is DeAndre, and he's a 4-star basketball high school player. Got anger management issues. Was a foster kid, similar to me being adopted. He got kicked off the team, or he didn't get kicked off. He lost all his offers, and but he really wants to go to college. But he ain't got nobody other than like his foster mom and his foster brother. So he feel like he got like chip on his shoulder, think I got to do everything on my own sort of situation. And he gets a job at a country club, and he's just working as a dishwasher. And then there's this old like drunken PGA coach that used to be really good back in the day, but was like racially profiled and kind of kicked out of the league, even though like there was somebody that wronged him that was white. And it's still really good, but now he's an alcoholic, kind of in depression.
Oh shit! Oh, I don't want you to give us the whole. Don't give us the whole. Don't give us the whole.
That shit sound amazing.
Okay, so the gist of it is, at the end, he teaches him the game of golf, and it follows.
It's
their
that
journey.
path, that journey.
It's like
Okay,
it's gonna be the vibe of like Remember the Titans type shit.
Oh, that's gonna be fire.
Speaking of Gregory Allen Williams, hopefully he's a part of it. Really famous actor. If you're like into like who Gregory would be, he's been in like all your favorite shows. But he really wants Denzel to kind of
That'd be
That
dope
would
as
be
shit.
shout out Denzel.
Shout out Denzel. That'd be
That would be
crazy.
tough.
If you watch it, you need to go in the movie and you need to go on the channel.
Nah.
From like not even being an actor to being in acting classes. How was
Bro,
that?
I'm low key. I think that's like probably the hard, like it's low key harder than golf because because when I first started my first class, I'll show y'all the video if I get a chance. Shit was terrible. Like I was pronunciating every word, like the ending, because that's how we talk. Like we talk articulate and clear. And she's like, after the first class, she like, it's gonna be a lot of work. Like I see the potential, but you gotta like the way that you be talking shit, throw some swag in it. And now 11 weeks later, I've grown so much in it, and having other acting coaches come in and help me out. You know, it's been truly, it's been one of the hardest things, but one of the most fulfilling things. I'm really excited to see like when it all comes together.
Hell yeah, we're gonna be watching.
What's the title of it again?
It's called Outta The Rough.
Outta The Rough. Pay attention when that does come out.
We don't have a release date yet. I just know filming should start like late fall.
Down
in Orlando.
We'll let y'all know.
We'll let y'all know for sure.
Good luck with that, my man. 2 final things. One, who's the greatest? I know you already did say the great. Who's the greatest basketball player of all time?
Oh, Bron, come on now. Y'all gonna get salty about the OGs gonna get salty about that.
Can I
We in Chicago.
Can I please ask
God, I was
We
in
didn't
the
even
shot.
talk about like him. This is his first time being in Chicago.
Guys, by the way, shout out Chicago. This is probably the cleanest, dopest city I've ever been to. And I've traveled a lot over the past like month, way more than I have my whole life. Still a lot of places to go. But so far, and I really don't think it's going to change because I really do like the Midwest feel.
Yeah.
Not just shit on New York, but I went to New York, came here. New York really low-key don't got shit on this shit. I'm not gonna lie.
That's crazy.
We keep trying to tell you.
It's like the Midwest Miami. I'm not gonna cap to y'all, bro. That shit tough, bro.
It's never highlighted as that, bro.
Yeah. And I'm from Cleveland, so like you would think I'd be like diehard Cleveland, and I still am. But Chicago really like that, bro. And it's clean. It's clean as hell here, bro. Clean as fuck. I'm looking for dirt.
My nigga Brandon Johnson, come on the jet.
I had to add on that since we were talking about basketball. Bro, who is winning these finals?
Yeah, who's winning the finals?
So is there a game tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a game tonight. So it's one up.
Yeah, 1-1.
They're going back to Indiana. OKC not gonna beat them twice in Indiana. This shit might go low key. This might go 6-7.
Yeah.
Because obviously everyone thought OKC. They kicked our Cavs out. We were the #1 team in the league. So like,
I really thought it was gonna be Cavs. Okay.
yeah, I definitely thought it was gonna be Cavs. So they kicked us out. Everybody been down in Indiana since the first round. Yeah. And they came this far.
Tyrese Halliburton has been playing.
Tyrese is that boy.
The fucking devil.
Yeah, bro.
The
like
things
that.
we've seen, I've never seen those.
Yeah, no shit.
So who you think? You got
I'm gonna go OKC.
Okay, see.
I'm
putting that parlay up tonight.
I'm putting that parlay up tonight. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very quickly, I want to shout out.
Tell where they
Shout out everything.
Okay.
Shout out everything.
Where can they find you?
I was trying to. I'm gonna put them on to who I want them to talk to as well. D1 brand, luxury brand is coming out very soon. You kind of see the old money aesthetic coming back alive. That's really my style. Y'all see the jerseys and shit, but like I'm really an old school nigga. I just wanted to get on y'all nerves for real. But you feel me? Like I'm really an old money aesthetic kind of guy. So the D1 luxury brand will be coming out soon. Polos, cashmere, all that shit. Thinking about some shoes. Eastside gonna help out. My boy Allen gonna be looking over some shit as well. He really liked that. I'm trying to tell y'all. And I really want. Obviously, we all revere him because he's gospel in our households growing up, especially like with our grandparents and whatnot. Roland Martin has been great. Shout out Roland, man. Roland Martin has been great. Gave me some great wisdom and some advice, and I'm sure the Jam would love to talk, and I'm sure he's seen your stuff and things like that. Which if you haven't, you got to check these wonderful kings out.
Shout out Roland.
Shout out Roland.
Where can they find you? Instagram,
TikTok? D1 Golfs is basically like everywhere at this point. TikTok, YouTube. YouTube's gonna come out very soon. It's just you got to do shit right.
You got to do shit right. Yeah,
you feel me? We're not gonna half-ass nothing. Y'all didn't half-ass this. Like y'all could have all popped on some pod and just threw like two iPhones up and tried to do the jam shit. And it's not gonna hit, bro. So you got it
because that was like literally our first like show shit that we did.
And then you were like, we got to do it right. And all good things take time. So you here now, you see like where it at. This is dope. You got a good support system around y'all. I'm sure y'all parents is more than proud of y'all. I'm proud of y'all. Fuck, niggas about to get emotional in this bitch. Fuck, but
appreciate you, bro.
Yes,
it's been an amazing time spending this 2 and a bit hours with you, man. So we got all those out the way. Thank you guys for watching this very special episode of The Jam. It's our first guest.
First guest. I'm honored.
You've made a hell of an impression.
You made a hell of a fucking.
I set the bar. Anybody
else coming on here gonna be like, fuck.
You gotta go out now.
Let me practice real quick.
Bro, no, it's been crazy.
Close on. Like, thank you for even coming here and hearing your story, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Your
sir.
story's
Appreciate
dope,
you,
bro.
man.
And the
Appreciate
things
it.
you have to
Real, bro.
overcome to even get here, bro.
We worked that,
Yeah,
but,
type shit.
After you cut off the camera.
But before we close off, Brice, why aren't they sharing this video? Why haven't they shared the video?
At this point, we've already talked about so many crazy things.
You
Set
got
the group chat on fire, damn it.
Set the group chat on fire.
Group chat
Send
on
it to
fire.
your mammy, to your father, to your
Share.
granddad.
Your pappy.
Subscribe, because what are we on? We on
Have an awesome day or night wherever you are. And peace, y'all.
Peace out, y'all.
Thank you for watching this long. If you haven't already, subscribe. What is you doing?
What is you doing?
What are you doing? You think we just sitting here doing it for nothing?
You think you're gonna sit here and not do
Need
shit?
to
Like,
eat.
share this shit.
I know you're not subscribed. Click it. Cool.